All right, we are live on Wimkin. Good to see everybody here. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Leroy and I are taking the helm tonight. We have got Olivia out with the kid. They are doing a concert tonight over at Hayden's school, which is something that I didn't have to go to. She told me, "You're okay. Stay home, Dad. Do the show. It's Christmas. We have enough days off. You need to make money. You need to have a living. You need to do all those things." And here we are. I anticipate things on Facebook are about to flip. And when I say flip amazingly. You may notice that we gained like 1,500 followers today for no reason in 1 second. Facebook was pulling back followers and was not allowing me to grow. And this has been going on for about 7 months, where my actual followers versus the amount of followers that were showing were different. We gained 1,500 followers for no reason. So Trump getting $1 million from Zuckerberg, all these things I think have an impact, and I think conservative voices are going to start being able to have their voice again on Facebook. I'm very hopeful. I don't trust Zuckerberg as far as I can throw him, but I can trust his interest for greed. And that's what I'm thinking. We'll be back in just a bit. If you have not had a chance, please do me a favor. Go over to the Don't Unfriend Me show website at thedumshow.com/donate. Help us out. It's Christmas time. It's tough. 3 months. It's going to be a slow time frame for the show. Help us out. And go over to Wimkin. And go buy a shirt. And a hat. And some coffee. Yeah, coffee. Coffee. Welcome to Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Wimkin. All of our shows are on. I don't know, man. Something's changing. I can feel it. The show is it's electric. Something's happening. I can feel it. I don't know why. Just the way people have been logging on. More people. Yeah, well, it helps when we're on time.
It's like static electricity in the air.
Shocking.
There's a vibe.
Shocking. Should we play some Flash Gordon? Flash! Oh!
Dude, I love that series.
I know. Who
doesn't? The all-seeing eye.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, so what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's
To Wimkin.
Real important message here. If you haven't checked it out yet, you absolutely have to. There is this podcast that I'm sure some of you have seen me on. It's phenomenal. It's called The DUM Show or The Don't Unfriend Me Show. You can find them on all social media at The DUM Show or visit thedumshow.com. Listen to their podcast. Absolutely perfect with host Matthew Spear.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, Unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matthew Spear. Happy birthdays. Let's get to it. We've got Chevelle and Tina Savage. Chevelle is a longtime listener, a constant contributor, always is extremely positive and extremely awesome. We appreciate her very much. And Tina Savage is our resident officer, investigator extraordinaire. Husband is a police officer. Brother, husband, I don't know which one. It doesn't matter. She's got a ton of knowledge in law enforcement, is always there helping us out and making us a better squad. So we appreciate you both. Happy birthday. If you want your birthday, all you got to do is tell Amy Stancombe. She can't keep a secret to save her life. Little joke, little humor. And we'll make sure we get it to you. But Chevelle Yvonne and Tina Savage, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, guys and gals.
And gals. Well, it's only
And
gals.
police officers.
They can be whatever
Just
they
really
want,
police
I guess.
officers, really.
Flash. Oh, saved every one of us. Got another birthday coming up on the 17th of December, but we're going to celebrate that a little bit later. But anyway, if you have a birthday and you want it called out for $47.99, you can, I'm just kidding, it's free. So just let us know and say, hey, I want to have my birthday recognized. And we're pretty good about catching people off guard with this.
Yeah.
It's not our first day. It's not our first rodeo. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Goal is up for donations. We do donations on this show because, well, Facebook has took away our ability to make money. We were doing very, very well for 3.5 years. We didn't ever ask for a penny ever. And unfortunately, when they demonetized, we had to. So the Don't Unfriend Me Nation, it's been almost 9 months now, I think, with people donating. We've hit every goal we've set. We've hit every nightly goal. We've never missed a nightly goal. And it's because we have a great crew and a great team of supporters who understand that this show needs to continue until we get noticed. And we thank you so much for when you donate. So if you have a chance, dumb/donate.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yes, Bobby, as always.
You know, and how amazing is that we're able to just, report on actual facts rather than just throw out all of the bias. And because of that, that tip jar just gets filled every single show without failure. I think that's great.
It is great. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And people understand.
It's a good feeling.
It is. Also, we've upgraded a few things. You might notice that Leeroy has a little bit more color in his camera. Leeroy, when he kicks his son out of the house and just never allows him to return, new camera is coming for Leeroy so we can get him set up and get him his high-res look that we've been trying to. But unfortunately, he was limited by space, so we went with the webcam. Amy's getting her mic upgraded. We're slowly getting everybody in the show on the same page. Mike is doing a lot of this stuff out of pocket, and he's assuming, hey, man, I'm going to be on the show. I think he did great his first one. He has done great calling in, and we expect to have him on the show too. So you guys got to see Ryan Samuels at the beginning. He did an intro for us. We really appreciate it. And
I thought that was Easy Top. I thought you got an endorsement from a major rock band. What do I know?
We do have an endorsement for a major rock band. It's called Still Point. Nice slip up, Leroy.
Hell yeah.
They are amazing. And the last thing before we get started is on the top of the hour, Spreaker. We've been doing really well with our podcast, and we are one of the top-ranked podcasts on Spreaker. And they are going to allow us to post 20-second commercials when we introduce our segments. So when we do, you'll hear a quick commercial when we change segments, and it's 20 seconds, and it's not a video, it's just an overlay audio, and kind of a cool thing. So we'll have those. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
God, we've already got 105 on Facebook. It's starting. They're starting to stop the throttle, which is really, it still sucks. If you can't hear, Jen, leave and come back in. That's you, not us, I promise. Anyway, donations are up, open lines. If you guys want to call in, all that type of stuff, let's get to the show. First thing, man, is we were talking about the drones.
The drones.
Oh, my Lord. And now we're back because this is getting even bigger. And, I don't mind talking about something in the media that is a little bit redundant and unnecessary. But you know, I'm as long as this is a story, is as long as I'm going to punch the ticket and keep talking about it, because somebody's going to shoot one of these damn things, and that is probably the dumbest thing you can do. Okay, do not. You're going to shoot down a civilian plane. You're going to get people killed, and you're going to get yourself killed, because you're going to go out there and people are going to report shots fired. And you're going to go out there and start shooting drones, and they're going to go ahead and bring out a team, and you're going to get your ass killed. So please stop this.
Right.
Please.
Or at a minimum, you'll end up in not short term. We're talking long term prison. Like,
yeah,
not the good kind, the bad kind. And I'll tell you what, with 99.99999% chance that what you are looking at is already identified. It's either a local jet, plane, helicopter, or some 18-year-old's drone that he got for the holidays, and now he's zipping around the neighborhood with it, right? These are not foreign actors, folks. These are not, it's not an invasion. It's not aliens. They're just local air traffic. And just think about that before you go and take any sort of actions like discharging a firearm.
You guys show when Leroy and I were on last week, right? We or the other night, we showed you this photo, and Leroy was absolutely right when he said this is a small engine aircraft, probably a civilian aircraft, maybe a Citation, Cessna, etc. So I started doing some research, and just so I could identify this one, because we were doing it. This is a Cessna Citation. It's a part of the family. I can't tell you the exact make and model number because I'm not going to do that, but I could break it down for you. But you can see that this 100% is the profile of the aircraft that we're seeing in this. It is not. Some people might say it's the size of a small car when it's at altitude. When it's at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet coming in for a landing, everything looks like a small car. I mean, for like C-141 Starlifter looks like a small car at altitude.
It's really hard to get perspective like that, to judge size when you're at distance and you've got nothing to compare to in the sky. So you'll see things as big as a Globemaster, a C-17 Globemaster, and think, oh my God, that's a Learjet. No. So it just keep that in mind. You can't really tell size when you have nothing to compare to and you're looking, several miles away.
Right. So just something to think about, guys. It's not a drone, okay? And people are like, oh, well, why is there a light underneath it? There's a lot of reasons. Certain states have that because of low-hanging wires. They also have no regulations on other civilian flights in the area. So they do top-down. They have a lot of helos in the area, a lot of hospitals, military in the area. So it's required to have undercarriage lighting as well as on your port side, starboard side, your forward and your aft. So let's relax here. Now I'm going to show you
something I didn't think about until you just threw that picture back up. Something that didn't even occur to me is that. What are the chances that 99% of these sightings are all happening at night?
And yes, and now they have their first day one, and I'm going to show you that too and debunk that.
Oh, do they?
So yeah, and the reason people need to understand is that I'm pretty good at this. Leroy's pretty good at this. You can see by us jumping into it. Leroy had no preparation, and we were blowing these things apart. But every one of these are at night. Every one of these are aircraft this is not a drone. This is exactly what we're saying.
No,
civilian aircraft.
That's not a drone.
You're getting refraction from light. It's totally normal. That is not a drone. That is and see that the flare you're getting on the side is making it look oblong and weird shaped. It's not. Yeah. These are civilian aircraft, okay? Not a drone. And this is a Cessna Citation family of a Learjet, okay? So the way you got to look, these are just people who don't know any better. And I'm not insulting them. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm not trying to make fun of them.
No, they mean well. They mean well.
but they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Yeah. So I've seen all these videos. Okay. You see this? See this wash trail?
Contrails.
It's because it's not contrails. It's not contrails. No, it's just refraction. So if we blow this up, this is this is a FLIR. So what you're getting, is you're getting refraction. Yep, it's getting refraction. So it's moving at a slower frame rate than the actual device is moving. So you're going to see it's going to leave its image and its footprint. So you're seeing the illuminated area is moving faster. Therefore, it has some sort of residual light being left behind it because of the frame rate of the camera. Okay, FLIR cameras do not have 60 frames a second or 120 frames a second. They're more 30 to 22 frames a second, even lower than that, because they don't have to have that high frame rate because they're looking in the dark. So that's why when somebody walks across, you'll see there's a perfect example. I didn't catch this before. A car goes by. Look right here. Look at the fence. Watch. Something goes by.
Yeah.
And it leaves its footprint. So that's the frame rate. So that's what happens on my camera. I've got the same cameras all over my house. I've got FLIR and I've got IR. I have FLIR. It's amazing. I've got my top of my house is a security haven. When Leeroy comes out, I can't wait to show him my security system because it's amazing because I do a job that people don't like me very much. So you got to protect yourself. So
I get
this whole thread, this guy built this thread. And, he's just like, I'm going to report to you and show everything. Okay, well, you guys, this is an overlay. This is somebody who has put in an overlay and dropped it onto the video because I can show you the breakups. There's no reason for this to be illuminated and the rest of it not to be illuminated. It doesn't make any sense. It looks like the light source is coming from an angle, which is illuminating this top, but not this back side. That doesn't make any sense. And when you look at this cityscape, there are no lights to illuminate it out there. So it's just one of those things where the light source is behind it. And this looks like it's in front of it where the guy's filming is where the light source is coming from. These are people who don't think when it comes to imagery that a lot of things can be disproven by the light source. Make sense?
That's true.
And many other things too. There's a whole bunch of other tricks of the trade. Here's another
example.
And
you can see that in a lot of movies when there's been a poor effort at doing a CGI'd scene, and when the artists don't get the lighting quite right, then when you're watching a scene and the lighting source looks like it's coming from someplace else rather than where it naturally should be coming in, that throws everything off, and you're easily able to tell, wait, something doesn't seem right.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, most people can't articulate that. But if you know what you're looking for and you know how they put that kind of thing together, then it makes it a lot easier to kind of spot that. In this case, that 4-prong thing that Matt just had up, the lighting source seems wrong.
Right. And listen, it's like some sort of obelisk in the sky. Yeah, come on. Okay. First of all, you're trying to insinuate that it's some sort of hanging Death Star. And the size of that you just put out, and you're zooming in at a 100x or a 20x on your phone, and the resolution of it is that good, and it's not pixelating, it's actually getting better, is bullshit also. If you want me to go back, I can show you. But when he zooms in, it gets better. And that's not what happens, especially at night, especially with refraction. Especially you have to open up your aperture, is that you're going to get more pixelization when you use digital zoom. So optical zoom is what the lens capabilities are, and then digital zoom is taking that optical max resolution and expanding it. That's all digital zoom does. It's not an enhanced zoom, folks. So it's going to pixelate, like you blowing up a picture. You take a 4x6 and you turn it to an 8x10, it's going to pixelate. Same thing with an optical zoom at its max, and then use a digital zoom on a camera. So here's another example. these guys are saying that every time they try to put their drones up in the air, the battery instantly dies. Okay, first of all, you're talking about like a microwave technology or some sort of hacking device that would drain your battery at a rapid clip without it exploding, without it getting extremely hot. That's not the way that stored energy works. There's only two ways to excavate the energy from a battery. One is by explosion and fast release, or a trickle charge or a draw on the battery, which is a controlled state of losing its capacity. Leroy, am I missing?
I think the only thing that I might add to that is the potential, right? And it does happen occasionally, especially on like those the lithium ion type batteries like that. You can get a short in the battery itself.
Right.
When you pull the thing off of the charger and go throw it in your machine, for a quick moment, it's going to show a full charge. And then the moment you throw the thing in the air, it's like somehow drained almost immediately. And that's due to a short in the battery. It just means you have a bad battery. It happens.
And not just that, but let's expand on that. So old batteries like nickel metal hydrate or nickel cad, they had memory. Mm-hmm. So if you notice, when you used old nickel metal hydrate rechargeable batteries or nickel cad batteries, what they would say is don't use it until it's fully charged. The reason why is it has cell memory. So once you use it when it's only 50% charged, that is the maximum that battery will have, because that is the chemical reaction that takes place that sets the battery for its overall storage. I don't know the physics of it, but essentially the moment you charge it at 50%, that's going to be its life forever. So at Christmas morning, we would all know this because we would get our Tonka truck or a remote controlled RC little car, and we would only put it in for an hour and go outside and be dead in 2 minutes. And then we would be pissed off because it would never recharge. Well, lithium ion changed that. It has no cell memory. But the thing with lithium ion is that it stores a massive amount of energy, and the release of that energy is very dangerous and very, very damaging. Yeah. When we worked on iPhones, we had blast safes. So back in the Genius Bar, and we would be working, I can't tell you how many explosions happen, and they would throw it into a safe, and they could see that it was starting to expand and realize that that phone is in danger. And immediately they would throw it into a blast safe, and that thing would pop. And it's fully vented. It would circulate the air because it's noxious. So here's the other thing, folks. Drones take a lot of power, and you only get a certain amount of flight time with these lithium-ion batteries, okay? I've had many drones. I used to use them for Valor, and we would get about 15 minutes of flight time, and I could go 3 miles from my house, and I could go up, like 2,000 feet. And that was, and it depends where I was at. This is not just, I want to watch this, and I want to show you what this is. Here you go. This guy's like, my battery. I saw the drone, and I tried to put my drone up to go catch it. First of all, you're going to go to prison. Because if you take a drone and you follow another aircraft, that is against FAA regulations, and you are going to jail. Stop doing it. But watch. Let me get the audio over. Hold on.
I love it.
What is going on? Okay, these are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up.
Maybe it's a charger.
No, I'll tell you what it is.
What, like a couple feet?
You are in a ready state. You see the green light, red light?
Off the table?
That's not battery out.
Came right back.
That means that there's a destabilization in your platform. And that table itself means it's unlevel. And that drone will not go until it's on level ground. That's why you can't put it on rocks. That's why you can't put it on an incline. You can't put it on the hood of your car to take off. And they do that specifically because what they don't want is instability. Because what happens is when you take off like this, it doesn't take off out. It doesn't have any type of directional thrust except for vertical and down unless you slow the blades down. So certain blades in the front will spin faster, which will give it lift to do this. The back ones will spin faster, which will drop its nose. That is how it works. It doesn't have fins. These small ones don't. So what would happen is that when it comes up, if it's not stable, it's going to come up at a tilt. And that means a rotor is going to go ahead and clip the table. Those are going to shatter, and you're going to break your drone. So it has to be flat. There's no battery issue here. If the battery was dead, she would have no juice. She's got 2 green light, and it's called Christmas trees and bumblebees. The same thing with this, with wiring. It's Christmas trees and bumblebees. Red and green go together. Black and yellow go together. Okay, but when you look at this, it's Christmas trees. So green is good. Red is bad. Red is dead.
I'm wondering what model that is, because I wonder if
It's
that's
a
not
DJI.
like port and starboard.
It's a DJI. It is, but it's because it's off level. You can see by the shadows in the boards, dude. See this, how this one dips down and this one's higher? So it's just not flat. It's got a level, a gimbal in it, which recognizes when it's tap 0. And it doesn't have to be tap 0. It can be off by 1 degree, 2, but there is a certain degree that it will not allow. And that will not give you green tone. There's other things. If you close one of the blades, you'll get a red. This is a DJI. I think it's a Mach 2.
Like a Mavic.
Yeah, the Mavic, DJI, Mach 2, whatever it is. I've owned 3 of these things, all different versions. And this is a standard thing that happens, is this is in pre-flight check, and you get 2 reds, you're deads, or 3 reds because you're either not balanced, or your blades are not put out all the way, or you haven't done a check, or your blades are reversed. There's a lot of reasons why it doesn't work, okay?
Yeah.
So, of course, they're just like, oh my God, its battery's dead.
They will not
Alien
fly.
tech.
Like, it won't fly. What the fuck?
And this shows you.
I don't believe in government conspiracies, but listen.
You shouldn't.
There's mystery drones.
Some.
And people's
See?
regular drones will not go
Watch,
up in
here's
the
your pre-flight check.
and crash out.
No, show the pre-flight, you little shit.
What the fuck?
Oh, don't you pull. See, you're doing the pre-flight check, and you saw the 2 reds. It's not the battery. It's that you're not on a stable ground. Now,
trying to get
wait.
the drone up.
You're still, it's still doing pre-flight check.
Charging battery required.
Look at this. You see this little red mark right here?
Mm-hmm.
He's in a no-fly area. So
I remember reading that DJI was doing that. They put up geo fences that's embedded into their own software, so that if you live within a few miles of an airport or in an area that has a restricted airspace, you wouldn't be able to take off.
We would go in DC all the time and try to record houses that we had roofed, and you can't fly a drone. We'd have to get up on a 30-foot and take video and walk across, and it was sucked. And Olivia had to do it too. Listen, folks, this is okay. Everyone goes, Matt, how do you know this shit? Because I've lived life, and I study and I learn about stuff because I love this type of shit. And you're like, yeah, but you know this about this and this, because I pay attention. And when I've told you, since I've been this high, when I see something and I don't understand it, I go learn about it. It's the way I've always been. I've always been inquisitive. So Leeroy has a very similar mind like I do. So it's not that these people are trying to get clicks. I'm just letting you know. Or they don't know how to work their drone. But when you have a red banner up on, when you have a red banner on top of your software, that's because you're in a no-fly. You're in a restricted. And certain times of the night you're restricted. See if there's anything else on here. Oh, okay.
It's fully charged.
So people are like, okay, I'm not going to tell you where this is at. Leeroy knows where this is at, and I can tell you what these are, but I'm not going to. I will tell you this is a government installation, and I will tell you that it is probably one of the best well-known secrets in the military about this base that nobody knows about. Okay? I'm not even going to tell you what those are. I'm just going to go ahead and have you watch what happens. This, when Leeroy sees this, he'll know this. This is a government warning that says this is a no drone, no fly zone. And any drones, usually you also see these attached with human beings. You'll see like a human logo, where if you cross this fence, you will be arrested, incarcerated, up to possibly shot. They have these in certain areas. This is a no drone, okay? They don't want you flying here. This is an infrastructure. It's not Quantico. No, Quantico is not a military base. Well, it's a school. and it's FBI, but it's not a military base. No. This is in Nevada. Enough said. So what you're going to see is somebody flies a drone, and this is absolutely what happens.
I love that he photoed. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not going to tell you what just happened. I'm not going to tell you how they did it. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I'm just letting you know that is a very highly secure area that you, a drone, or anything else is going to get into without being immediately shut down. And that's all I'll say. So people are like,
I love the fact that guy took the time, right, to fly his drone and read the warning sign that said, don't fly your drone here over the wire. And the moment he did that, bad things happen. And you're like, what happened, man? I don't know. It was on the sign.
and I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm not going to tell you how they did that. That's not my job. I will tell you that there are multiple ways to bring down a drone in flight. You have a physical, an electrical, signal interruption, hack and control.
Yeah,
there are plenty. And then there's ones that you don't even know about. So it's not difficult to bring down a drone or a UAV or a UAP. It's very simple for the United States government to do that, and especially one that's that close to the ground. So if people are thinking that these are here's my last point. They're not going to be having civilian flights. Let me show you this real quick. Leroy, look at this.
Yeah.
Then we're switching gears.
Ooh.
You see this? Yeah, this is fake. And I'll
It looks fake.
Yeah, it's extremely
it's
fake.
It's not lit right.
Yes, and not just not lit right, but look at the stars. The stars are showing overall time lapse and motion. Stars, that what you're saying is that if these stars are showing time, let me view in. See, this is an imaging problem. They don't understand imaging. I can't do it here. Hold on.
I think that's the same kind of alien I saw in that movie, The Abyss.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Let me get back here. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'll just tell you, but we're beating a dead horse. I'll just tell you, okay? If you have a light source that is in space and it's a star, you're not going to get motion blur except for the movement of the star, or you move the camera, which means that as the night sky rotates slowly, you will have motion from a motion capture open source lens that's doing time lapse. With that device, you actually will be able to see all motion because the light source is entering the lens and it's close. So follow me. If those stars, and if you could look at them close, had like 3 stars stacked on each other, looking like it was moving to the left, if you looked at the image. So it was showing the motion of time, but that would mean that drone would have to be moving slower than the stars in order to not have those 3 lights that were pristinely perfect not also show long lines of movement because the frame and the lens was wide open. You know it's an overlay. Folks, these are things you can understand when you learn imagery analysis. They teach you this shit so you can look at stuff and figure this out. It's not so a drone moving slower than a star, that's possible. They hover. But what you're saying is that drone that's a UFO basically moved as slow as humanly possible for the shot. It's kind of stupid.
You know, it's funny when you're able to start picking up on what doesn't look right. And as soon as you can articulate it, 9 times out of 10, most people's gut instinct is correct within that front. It's the people
that can't explain it.
That can't, well, or the ones that want to make snap decisions that say, oh my God, this is a UFO. No, it's not. It's a roll of tape. And you don't know what you're talking about. But the moment you can articulate it, to say, wait a minute, let's take another look at the lighting. Let's take another look at this. Does this look like it was time-lapse video? Why is this like this? The moment you start getting into those little nitty-gritty details, a lot of these types of images debunk themselves just because whoever made it didn't know to go through all of these other items that a trained analyst would be able to pick up on.
Right. Okay, so here's another, and the last thing we'll do, and then we'll get into our first segment transition of the night, is I received from Carrie, good friend, her friend, Ron, posted a picture on his site that ultimately showed this. Let me do the video first, because that's gonna throw you off. Okay, now. Okay, now. You're kind of like, wait a second. Why are those first question? Why are those propellers moving so slow? It's got to be gravitationally.
Play it again.
Hold on a second. Gravitationally let me answer this one, and then you can do that. Gravitationally resistant. It's got to have a G-force field that defies gravity. No.
Anti-gravity drive.
It's the frame rate of the. If you want to know what this is like, go get your phone right now and go look at one of your ceiling fans, and turn it up on high and go record it, and then come back and tell me what's happened. The frame rate of your camera. Now, if you get it on 60 frames a second, you may very well.
Happens to match the speed of the blades.
That's right. And when it matches the speed of the blades, you're going to find that you're going to see it's not quite matching. So you're going to see some movement, but not a lot. That's the first thing. Now we're going to play the video in its entirety. So Leeroy can tell us what this might be. Very carefully tell us what this might be.
Where was this filmed?
Yeah, I can't tell you that. Well, I can tell you that, but I don't know the answer unless Carrie tells me.
On the surface, like to a layman, right? To somebody who maybe has seen one or two, is an aviation enthusiast, but maybe hasn't seen everything. To the layman, they might immediately look up and think, that's an Osprey. But I don't think that is. That looked different.
Wait. Okay, so let me explain. The design is absolutely 100%, because there's your image, is an Osprey. It's very, very close to an Osprey. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this, but it's not. And I'll tell you why it's not. It is an Osprey.
It's too thin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the backside is wrong.
Yeah.
You have usually a dual tail on an Osprey, but when you look at the wingspan, very, very much an Osprey. Okay, so this still is an Osprey style V-volt style vertical takeoff aircraft. Okay, there's a few things you need to understand. One is it's got fixed landing gear, so you can see the fixed landing gear. And then it's got windows on the side of it. You see the windows on the side of it? Those are usually passenger based. I will tell you this, that's not the way the window system is on a standard Osprey. The color patterns are not military colors on this Osprey. And you have markings on the back fin, which look to be civilian. So all that together, Leeroy, what's your gut tell you?
Wait, I know what that is.
I know you know what it is. Go ahead. Take your time.
Hang on. I've got it right here. It's a variant of the Osprey, and
It is.
It's
It is.
called.
It is.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Ah, there it is. The Leonardo AW609.
That is it. Absolutely. Here's a picture of it, just in case. It is a civilian-based aircraft. It has very, very similar. There's multiple sizes depending upon what style. The French use this.
Hey,
There it is. There it is. That is the exact aircraft. This one is a shorter body, and this was a first, I believe, a Charlie or a Delta. No, this was an Alpha version. So this was, or a Y version. I think it's Y. So these all come in various shapes and sizes and different colors. They are a civilian aircraft. They are absolutely 100% based, and they are not a fixed landing gear, which means that this was coming in on approach. So it was moving very slow. They are not fixed bodied. They are actually retractable landing gear. And this is exactly what they look like.
Isn't that cool?
Yes. And I want to make sure you guys understand something. Do you see this image? I'm going to teach you something. Do you see this right here? Wait, let me get my mouse up. Oh, you can't see my mouse. See how there's 1, 2, 3 windows?
Mm-hmm.
So immediately like, oh my God, this isn't that. It's not the same aircraft, Matt. It's different. It's different. It can't be because there's 4 windows. There's 4 windows, Matt. I don't believe this. Why are you
of that? Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's not just that. But look, it's not a window. You can see it right here. That this is where people board, and that is the stewardess and whatever where they look at. So if you want to enter this aircraft, it has a backside entry, which usually is maintenance and things like that, but it has a port window or a side back
rear entry, if you will,
or rear entry in the rear, or a rear window. This is very much like a viewport on a vessel, or if anyone's been on a Caribbean style cruise, you've seen these are fixed. They're not open windows. They're reinforced glass, and it's basically a peephole is all it is. Okay. That is what you're looking at. So we were sent this, and I just answered, it's an Osprey. But I want you to understand it's a variant. And my first reaction to Carrie was be very careful, because you may take a snapshot of something that isn't civilian, that is something that's classified. And if you put that on your Facebook and take a photo of it, you're gonna get a door knock. You want to be careful. Nothing wrong with taking photographs. You're not breaking the law. But if you post something of something that is classed, you're going to get a door knock. And they're going to come to you and say, hey, listen, this is a state of national security. You need to remove this. This is, government, blah, 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 section 102, index 34. And, you're going to get that speech.
Yeah.
Folks, these are in the air every day. When you guys see a very easy, you're going to fucking flip out. When you see a very, like, they haven't been flying in the air. You know what they are? Oh, you haven't seen one? My dad used to fly.
And I'm a huge aircraft enthusiast. I've not heard of that.
Yeah, hold on.
Like, I love aircraft so much that, like, when they started having all of the issues with the V-22, I was like, why did they go with this design? Way back in the 50s, there was an aircraft. Oh, yes, we have those flying around here. We call them canards.
The canards, very easy is what they're called. So, and it's VARIEZE, very easy. And they're not very safe, and they crash a lot.
No.
But they are great. They're amazing. But that looks like, oh, dude, if people see that, they're going to shit themselves, because underneath, dude, it's going to look like World War III starting. Here's kind of an idea of what it looks like underneath. Yeah. Can you imagine if that's flying over? People are going to be like, oh my God, we're all going to die. You guys, if aliens were landing here, they would not have FAA regulated lighting. Number one. Let me say it again. If these were aliens, they are not going to ensure, as they travel light years across the galaxy to come to New Jersey, and make sure that their aircraft have FAA regulated lighting on them. Number one. That means they're not UFOs. They may be unidentified flying objects to you because you don't understand what they are, but to us, these are aircraft. And every day they're in the air, and we know that because Leeroy doesn't know how much of an aircraft enthusiast I am. It's one thing we have never shared.
No.
I
and
love...
And that's been my...
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Dude,
been
from
my
this.
whole
Go ahead.
childhood. No, I'm saying that's been my whole childhood. That's one of the reasons I ended up in here in the Dayton area, is because they have the Air Force Museum that's 20 minutes away. I go through that a couple times a year.
I mean, I grew up Amelia Earhart, Spirit of St. Louis, Charles Lindbergh. One of my favorite movies was Jimmy Stewart and The Flight of the Spirit of St. Louis. The Montgolfier brothers studied immensely with balloon flight. The Kitty Hawk and the Wright brothers. German engineering with Messerschmitts, Japanese Zeros, Spitfires, B-17s, B-29s, the P-51, the P-38. You can go to F-14, the F-4. You can go to the A-10. You can go to the A-6. You can go to the E-3. You can go to the P-3 Orion. You can go to the Continental. Civilian aircraft, Cessna, Piper Cub. It doesn't matter. I love aviation. I used to photograph aviation. I'll even show you some of the ones. I've got some great shots of a P-51 and a Messerschmitt. I don't know what version of Messerschmitt, an old Spitty. And I love aircraft. It's just amazing. I didn't know that about you, but that's what got me into Intel.
That's an ME-262, right? The Messerschmitt. That's
but there's multiple Schmitties. I just would have to see which one. But I took a bunch of pictures of them. It doesn't matter. The point is that like when we went through aviation, and we were talking about the other night and identifying aviation and foreign military, man, I aced that fucking test. I absolutely
so did I. I
crushed
didn't
that
study
test.
for it.
I didn't study. No, that was our first. That was week one. They gave us a general knowledge test, and there was a section on geography. There was a section on military weaponry, and then military aircraft. And there was like 10 questions. I got 10 out of 10. Then in like week 4, we did aircraft identification. 100% blew that out of the fucking water.
Same.
Just blew it out of the water. Just like 100, and that put me number one.
That was so easy.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with naval vessels, and then when we got to mechanized, it was the same way. Is I studied this. Like I was a walking Jane's Dictionary. If you guys don't know that, Jane's Dictionary is a semi-classed overall encyclopedia for military weaponry. Not something you can get on the open market. There's old versions of it, but Jane's Dictionary is a semi-classed, unclassed Wikipedia for. Do they sell them now?
Well, they sell the unclassed. The class of there is a classified flavor of it, and nobody really uses it after NGA. So there's on the high side, folks. There's something called NGA keys, and you can use that. It's just kind of like an open source encyclopedia that's really only available on certain systems.
Everything's changed. Like I don't even know. Like, but Jane's was like we used that religiously in the 90s up into the 2000s and computers. But Jane's was like every report we ever did, Jane's Dictionary. It was like literally like the pages would be worn in Intel school because everybody is like, everyone looks up the same shit. So it would be worn.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer, so much. Just checking our donations. All right. That's where we're at so far. I'm not even going to talk about donations. All right. That was fun. I wanted to, and I warned Carrie. I just said, "Oh, what's up?"
Do you want? If you really want to see something freaky, right? This is how into it I got. If you wanted to Google an image of the Farley Rotodyne, it's from Great Britain, and I thought to myself after all of these incidents with the Ospreys that were having issues and killing Marines, and they'd fall out of the skies like, fucking. It seemed like it was one a month, right? And I thought to myself, there had to have been a better design.
Yes.
Then I came across that thing's which had never crashed.
It's a piece of shit. It looks like it is a flying piece of shit. Look at that beast. Look at that.
But it was fast and it could lift.
Fixed rotor. Right. Yeah. And that solves the C-130's problem when the C-130 is a battle EC and it's on a short runway. Is like that gives you vertical lift because it's got two props. And it's got vertical lift, but that's why the C-130 used to have rocket engines fly off and shoot off the back of it to get lift on short runways. Is because it was just that is an ugly thing, man.
It's horrific looking, but it served a purpose. And the main rotor disengaged at speed so that the main lift came from the wings at that point.
Yeah.
And then when it came in for landing, it would re-engage the main rotor, slow it down, right? And they would fire off little rocket pods on the end of the wingtips of the blades to get back up to speed, and then it would land like a helicopter again. Amazing.
I've seen one of those in Israel. And I don't know where, but that's where I saw it. And it could have been a scrap. I'm not sure, but I've absolutely seen that or something very, very close to that.
Now they did have. Oh, I could go on about this kind of shit all day.
No, I don't care. Who gives a shit? We got plenty to do. No, we're fine. I'm telling you, I saw this in Israel, or a version of it. Well, it was Rolls-Royce that did the engine, so that makes sense. So this had no German influence. This was strictly British, huh?
Yeah.
So this was no German influence, strictly British, because it's a Rolls-Royce engine. So this had to be British. Well, that would make sense because the British and the Jews.
The one that I think you were looking at might have been the Eurocopter. The Eurocopter looks very similar to the Rotodyne, but it's much smaller. But it looks very similar.
No, this
Eurocopter
is the Rotodyne.
X3.
No, this is the Rotodyne, bro.
Huh.
It's the Rotodyne. Promise. I'm looking at it right now. It says it's the Rotodyne, and there were different versions of it. What I'm seeing. Oh, holy shit! Did you know that the Sikorsky R4 and the R6 were based off this plane? How cool is that? Yeah, they based it. The Sikorsky rotor blade was based off this. That's amazing. See, I can do this shit all day too. I love this.
You said it was the Sikorsky what?
Sikorsky R4 and the R6 were based off this. These are the real small ones from Vietnam. These were the hoppers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the same. Look at that thing. Isn't that crazy? Sorry, folks. See, we're nerds. See, this is the Sikorsky R4.
Yeah.
And this is when the U.S. Army had the Army Air Corps. Some of these still transferred over. But the thing is that the Army dropped the Air Corps and they no longer were allowed to have fixed-wing aircraft. So they moved to rotary. And the Army, that's why they have the Apache. And a lot of people go, why does the Air Force have the Apache? Why don't they have attack helicopters? Well, that's because they would have if the Army Air Corps wouldn't have become essentially the Air Force. So this is what you got. And it was illegal for Army to have any fixed-wing aircraft. And this was a huge fight. So that's when they started putting rockets on Huey style or older helicopters like the J4, J6, and started using them for attack. And they put rockets in Korea and Vietnam, and they became highly lethal, and were a huge part of jungle warfare were helicopters because planes couldn't necessarily get in. Napalm was invented, and they obviously fixed that hole, but not as tactical as using rockets. So yeah, the J4 and the J6 Sikorsky, I haven't heard those in a long time. Here's the Sikorsky R6, and this is the what we called like the Jaws. Most of these guys, these are old.
Oh, yeah.
They had these guys had what the P40 had, which was the side of it had the teeth, the shark teeth, like the old P40s, and they would paint them on these choppers. Yeah, they would paint the nose art. They would paint these the same way, and outside the bubble would have the shark teeth, and it made it look like a floating fucking shark because you could see the body looks like a shark. Yeah, they do. They're horrible. These things crashed all the time. They sucked. Aerodynamically, they were a brick. See, dude, you and I need to go get some whiskey and a cigar, and we could fucking do this all day long. I love this shit. Okay, folks, we're gonna switch gears as we load up the next thing. This is brought to you by Spreaker, and this is our segment intro.
The social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at wimkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
Yeah, you do that. Go over to wimkin.com. Please do. They are a sponsor for our show. Absolutely love them. Here is something that, oh man, this is a tough one.
Good.
Do you unequivocally believe, Leroy, in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all?
I do.
Do you believe in individual rights for all? Yes
I
or
do.
no? And do you believe innocence until proven guilty?
Absolutely.
Yeah, something to think about. It is Korean era. World War II, actually, Mike. So this is a situation where you have a guy who is online and he sets up communication with people who are trying to catch online predators.
Okay.
And this guy goes into a Home Depot instead of I think a Walgreens or a Walmart, because they tried to catch him. They solicited him with an 18-year-old girl, and then they solicited him with a young boy. And he chose to go to Home Depot for the young boy. Now, I have no idea if this is not made up. This is you've seen this with, like NBC Dateline, where they had that show where they would go and catch,
to catch a predator. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you see there's this guy who does it online who I really love. But the question is this now, don't even jump my shit, people. I'm bringing up a conversation to talk about. Is this okay? Can we believe in human rights? Can we believe in civil rights? Can we believe in the right of innocence until proven guilty by having essentially it really is vigilante justice when you physically have an altercation with this person. Now, if you want to set them up and you want to video them, I don't know if I care about that too much. But the moment you touch that person, you are then crossing a line, or are you? Now, that's my question. Matt, how dare you? Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for not droning on too long about it. That was my title of the show. The drones are droning, right? Or dronings are droning on.
Drones be droning.
We
drones
have
be
to.
doing what they do.
It's the #1 topic right now on the internet. So here's this.
Let me see what you got.
My keys in my wallet.
Hey, let me see what the fuck you got.
Why are you here to meet a little boy? Why are you here to meet a little boy? I'm here to get stuff for my cat.
You're here to meet a 13-year-old boy.
Recording. We have your Facebook. We got your Instagram.
First of all,
What's his last name?
what you got in there?
Cody
Wallet?
Wallet and my
keys?
phone.
Good. You don't get slapped the fuck out of again if you don't start listening. So you're going to tell us why you're here to meet a 13-year-old boy. All right? But first, we're going to chill.
Sorry, boss.
I'm going to play
Don't mind us for a second. I'll get him for you, boss.
Stay there. All right?
So now you've moved into that makes it so hard for me because, honestly, I would love for you to take him out back and just, but physical assault and battery, it's felony. And now kidnapping because you've told him he can't leave. So you have officially kidnapped him. Here's the rest.
But you got to answer these questions truthfully.
Destruction of public property as you assaulted him and smacked his glasses across. If his glasses are more uncertain, because you're going to see his face in a second. That wasn't staged. You're going to see his face.
You fucked up.
All right, he's back. Are you going to answer these questions truthfully?
Yeah.
Because I'm being nice, so I need you to be nice back to me, okay?
All right. Listen, Cody.
So are you here to meet a little boy?
No, listen, Cody. What you here to do? Listen, Cody. Look at me.
How do
right
we
now.
know your name? Come on, man.
Look at me in my eyes.
Come on.
I got a 30-minute recording of you talking to a little boy, okay? So let's stop with the games. Do I need to play some of it? Or are we going to talk about the little boys you already hung out with and talked to?
What was the detective's name that's already called you before?
The police officer?
Talking to a little boy.
The police officer?
Hanging out with a little boy.
Tell the fucking truth. When you
I bet you if you pull out your phone and we call it, it rings. So you could call the cops on him from smacking you.
Hey, you want to do that?
Now you've moved into blackmail. So now you've blackmailed because you've told him that unless you admit it, I'm calling the police.
You want to call the cops on him for smacking you?
Or you want to tell the truth about the little kids you touched and you talked to already? No one you came here to pick up to
And
do
that
what?
kid ain't
Cuddle
blinking.
with?
Hey, didn't he? Hey,
No.
you know that 18-year-old
Oh, he's high as fuck. Like, he's not dilating nothing. He's high as fuck.
that you're supposed to meet at Walmart?
Look at his reaction. He's drunk or high. You can tell. Slow reaction, no dilation. He's very little facial
He's
expressions.
zoned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's out. And then he dude, look at his face. I mean, it's already swelling up and bruising up. I mean, that guy, he got clocked.
That's us too. We was gonna get you either way.
You chose the little boy. You're supposed to meet an 18-year-old, but you chose the
I'm
little
gonna ask you
boy.
a question again. Why were you here to meet a little boy tonight?
I came in.
Oh,
Hold on.
you about to get slapped, boy.
Hold on.
You about to get slapped.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right, tell the
I
truth,
came
okay?
in to look for cabinet knobs and the drawer handle things.
I heard you stumbling, talking to the fucking
You didn't know what to
to the
ask for.
ladies. I'm going. And she said, "Out 4."
Oh.
Ooh, that boy season up.
Hey,
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, who you here to
gonna
meet?
get it, Goldilocks. You gonna
who
get
you
it.
here to meet?
You gonna get it, Goldilocks.
Or you can call the cops,
Tell us
and
what
we can figure it all out together.
Let me see what you.
Oh, man,
Okay.
This is tough. This is so tough. And it's tough because if you're a dad, you're not filming that
get
shit. Yeah, if you're a dad, you're not filming that shit, and that's completely different. These guys are doing this for clicks. And what happens? You know what, Leroy, you go first.
Everyone that is involved with that video is wrong.
Yep.
Not only the blonde kid who get the shit kicked out of him, but also the people standing behind the camera who are trying to intimidate, extort, manipulate, freak that kid out. I understand the desire to want to fix people by having the shit scared out of them in a scared straight kind of program, right? Because you think you can fix a predator. You can't.
Right.
And what they probably should have done is go ahead and turn that over to local authorities, kept an eye on him, right? Maybe follow him if you're really in fear that he's going to go pick up a 15-year-old boy, right? But to take that extreme of a measure into your own hands is the line that they crossed. And it didn't just start with the kid getting slapped. It started the moment they approached him and started talking to him in the tone of, "Hey, we know what you did. You're wrong, and now you're going to pay for it." They should have left that to an unbiased authority.
It's all very good points. Listen, everyone knows that I was raped twice by two different people when I was growing up. So there was a time in my life that there's nothing that was off limits to people like this. And I believe that child predators, the only exception are parents. If anyone touched my daughter or son, that person never again.
Yeah.
I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. Probably not actually, because I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait. And I'm going to make sure that it doesn't matter. The point is that person's going to pay, and they're going to pay dearly. But what you've created is a situation where this guy didn't act. You have to get the child there for that person to look at them and engage in order for it to be at least an attempted sexual act. This person could say, "I just like to pretend that I'm talking to people. I don't care if it's an 80-pound or an 80-year-old woman. It's the act of me coming to Home Depot and pretending I was going to meet somebody, which is my fetish, not being with a kid." And he's going to get off. Now he's going to get off.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do the investigation right, because you're not fucking trained to do it.
Right.
And the guys who do it professionally call the police first. They tell the police what they're about to do, and they have a police officer on scene. And they approach the guy, and they have private investigator licenses, and they are allowed to engage and then make a citizen's arrest. And the police officers are on standby just to make the arrest. You have to do this, even though you're dealing with a scumbag, have to do it the right way.
Yeah.
You have to do it the right way. The guy is mentally ill. You can tell. And that, I'm not here to defend it, but I'm here to say is that we all have individual rights, and you are not an officer of the law. Once again, if you're a parent, that's not going to be on video. That guy's going to drink through a straw, and nobody's going to see who did it. This is different. I'm not here to defend predators. I think here's the point. Whatever you want to do to him, you getting him arrested and putting in prison is going to solve anything that you wanted to do to him, because the prisons will take care of him. Yeah,
prisoners do not like child molesters.
He will not be upright for very long. They'll put him in solitary, and at some point he's going to have to come out for that, and someone's going to take him down. They will get to him. So I understand that people want clicks, but that shit is vigilantism. And if you're making me feel a little sorry for a wannabe almost child predator who's flirting with it, then you've got to be doing something pretty fucking wrong. You beating the shit out of a guy on a camera. Ugh, it's like, I get it, but dude, I get it, but he didn't do it. It's like somebody who's real quick. It's like somebody who looks at porn of fucking farm animals, and then you arrest him for bestiality. You can't do that. It's a fantasy. It's a fetish. And until they act on it, no illegal act took place. When it comes to child predators, I get it. We have got to do something. I'm going to show you a couple of other videos that are going to talk about individual rights. We're going to talk about missing kids. All those things are very, very important. You can't do that if you want that guy to face justice. Go ahead, Leroy.
It's worse than that, because any decent lawyer would look at that footage and say, look, my guy is obviously has some sort of mental deficiency. It's here in his charts here. He was high. Clearly, he didn't know what he was doing. He stumbled into Home Depot completely unaware of what he was doing. So any decent lawyer would be able to get him out of there, issues. Now,
I thought it was
what makes it worse, right. Now, what makes it worse is the fact that these two idiots went ahead and videotaped it. Technically, the only crime that they videotaped was their assault on him.
Right.
So if they take that to a prosecutor, right, the prosecutor is going to say, I do see a crime here. Go, by the way, you're going to spend the next, 2 weeks sorting this stuff out in our county prison. That's going to happen. Don't do that kind of shit. You're an idiot.
Yeah. Be smarter, right? And which kid did you use? I know people who use their own children. Listen to me. This is a dark and deadly, just horrendous thing that happens in our country and all over the world. We don't need to create these situations. We need to stop these situations. We don't need to entrap people. You don't need to entrap somebody who's mentally not all there. And he looks very slow. Maybe he wants to meet a man. Maybe we don't know his age. I don't know how old he is. It doesn't matter. The fact that I'm even defending a scumbag like that means that you fucked up.
Yeah.
Do it right. Do it the right way. Get the cops involved. Set them up. Fuck yes, set them up. Do it within the confines of the law. You can't solicit these things. You can't go out there and go, hey, I'm a 12-year-old girl. Someone talk to me. You have to. They have to show a willingness. They have to understand there's a way to do this. A predator is very different than a victim who you're saying is a predator. I don't believe this person's a victim. I believe that you probably stopped somebody, hopefully from doing something, but I think you're going to spend some time in jail for it. And if you posted this online, this guy is going to own your fucking ass when he gets out, because he is going to sue you to oblivion civilly. Like, your house is his. You're fucked. You've done defamation of character, libel, slander, physical assault, felonious assault. This is stupid. You gave him a win. You just actually financed this guy's shit. Yeah, it's stupid. Here's another video. Let's get into this. We're going to stay on the civil rights tip.
And you go through
Asian girl in glasses. Oh, weakness.
Oh, all right.
I'm just saying. Asian girl in glasses, kind of my teacher fantasy thing going on. Here it is. She ain't ugly. She looks like Tia Carrera.
So TSA is doing this
I was
really
just
fun
thinking
thing now
that.
where on top
Isn't that crazy?
of taking your ID, they
Yeah, she's smoking.
also try to take your photo every single time you go through TSA via a facial recognition software. Now, this is something that you can opt out of, and I usually do, but to be quite frank, I am so tired of TSA agents trying to bully me into getting my photo taken every single time, because first off, it is ridiculous that I have to get my photo taken when I'm already giving you my ID. Now, I'm in Newark, and this happened this morning, right? This TSA agent, their signs.
What the fuck is going on in New Jersey? Seriously, man. Newark got
I know,
photographs
right?
and drones and freaking the New Jersey Devils get spanked by the Avs. Oh,
Everywhere that read, if you don't want your photo taken, make sure to opt out beforehand. So before I walk up, I say, I don't want my photo taken. This agent goes, well, I already pressed the button. You have to get your photo taken now. And I say, no, I don't want to. I physically have to walk to another TSA agent, give her my ID, and say, I don't want my photo taken. I truly don't understand why this is the norm now, and I'm making this video to remind all of us that getting your photo taken when you want to get on a flight is not normal. Oh, and to add insult to injury, I had 2 illegal immigrants going through TSA right in front of me. Oh yeah, the government is also trying to pass Real ID nationwide, which, by the way, is just going to be a giant federal database with all of our information to make it easier for the government to consolidate all of our data. So if you thought that that was already bad enough, on top of that, TSA is now trying to force people in.
all right. Hot,
I get it.
but
Well,
go
smoking
ahead.
hot.
It-
I would
it's
want
smoking.
pictures too, just not of her face.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, can we get a strip search? I'm asking for a friend. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, does the government have the right to collect our images and collect our thumbprints, collect our DNA, and collect our photographs?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ultimately, they do, and it's because you are using this outside service, right? If you didn't want your picture taken, technically you shouldn't leave your house, because the moment you leave your house, you are not in private. You know, it's not like it's your earth, right? The moment you walk outside, you are in public territory. The moment you go into an airport, you are in a public setting. So they have every right to take your photo because you are trying to utilize a service that you don't own. And because you don't own it, they have the right to set stipulations, conditions of said service. One of those, thank you, Kevin. One of those is and can be getting your photo taken. It's not unreasonable.
Right.
Man, I'd like to see it in her underwear.
Yeah. Dude, seriously. Don't be a guy. Don't be such a guy. It's like, ma'am, hold on a second. The shift change is happening and they're going to need to strip search you too. Because my buddy John's got to get in on this. Listen, it's an invasion of your privacy that you're not entitled to. That's really what it comes down to. Yes, it invades your privacy. They would try to pass me through the bomb sniffer, and and put my hands above my head. I told them no, I'm not going in that. I don't know the rate. I have fucking MRIs all the time. I'm not adding to it. So I would decline. And they said, well, we have to physically pat you down. I'm like, yeah, of course you do. Fine. And I would go do it. And it sucked. I even had a medical card that they did not, because I've got a pacemaker in my back. And they said, no, you can't. You have to go through it. And I'm like, my doctor says I could blow up. It comes down to this do you see this? Yeah, you're done.
I see that. Okay.
You're done. And there are recording devices all over your house. Your picture is already there. They already have everything. They've been taking DNA since 1970, 75, 80. So chances are when you were born, you were already thumbprinted, cataloged, and everything else. So just relax. Okay? Relax.
Lighten up, Francine.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and look at another CEO. We got a lot of good stuff tonight. Folks, please donate. Please help us out. We're at $122.79. Toughest 3 months of the year are coming up.
If you like what we're saying, the tip jar is open, folks. If you like what we're saying, if you like what we're talking about, if you like Matt and I's banter or the potential to see Asian chicks in their underwear.
In underwear? Yeah.
Then go ahead and throw something in that tip jar.
Yeah. If you spend any time overseas, you would know that most Japanese chicks don't wear underwear, which is an interesting thing. So, by the way, goal is $250, and I don't like calling it the tip jar, right? It's donation. You like the show? This is how you keep it. You donate to PBS, you donate to the Salvation Army, you donate to to things you like. That we are not a paid show by corporate. This is owned by the people, and we keep it free and we keep it safe because of that. This is this new CEO for Enron. He looks like he's 12. First of all,
he looks like if you're in puberty,
he's in the black shirt, dude. Yeah, but look at his bodyguard, dude. Where did you get them? Did you go to the land of Oz, and do you pay them in lollipops?
Right?
Do you pay them in Willy Wonka chocolate with the other Oompa Loompas? Dude, if that guy, I'm going to bring up my knee and I'll decapitate him. Where did you find him? Was he in the Shire with the other Bagginses? That's not a bodyguard.
He got him at a discount 15% because of his deficiencies in height.
It looks like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. Deplane, boss, deplane.
Purvey Village Chase, yeah.
I mean, come on. So this is what happens. And dude, this security detail. Why are one of you should be in front, one of you should be in back? Why are you side strolling this guy? And now you're walking through that there is a column here, and you let him go first and expose his right side. These are not trained bodyguards. These guys are complete dog shit. I'm telling you right now, he's in a position he's putting his back to any possible threat. This guy. His back's to threat. This guy's too far behind. His eyes are down. And he's going to be walking into a support column here, and watch what happens.
Connor! Everyone's back!
What are you doing back there, bro?
Walks right into the column.
That ain't helping you. You put your hand on your what am I fuck OPSEC.
I don't know, man.
Your doesn't matter.
Oh my God. Don't unfreeze it. You know what I'm looking at right now?
What?
The cast of Home Alone, the two thieves. That's Daniel Stern.
It's kind of yeah.
Marv.
Look.
Oh. We're the pie bandits.
Everyone's back! Connor! Oh my God!
Now, I want to show you something. Your asset. Sorry. You protect your asset. You're a body man. Look at fucking Bernie Sanders got him.
Yeah. I was looking at that.
This guy's like 106, man.
Dude, old man Time got the guy, and you have the short little Italian bodyguard who's got his left hand on the guy's forearm going, I'll save you. Too late, dude.
What are you doing?
I'm lactose intolerant. You just killed me.
It's lemon meringue, too, because you can totally see. It's like a lemon meringue pie. I mean, this is, and it looks like the kid leans into it. I mean, the reaction is just like, what are you doing, bro? Boom! Lemon meringue everywhere. Look at that. Oh, that's not gonna come out. Nice reaction, guys. That's right. Push your asset into the assailant. Don't grab your hands on both sides of his shoulder and put him behind you and take down Grandpa frickin' Rumpelstiltskin. Look at Rumpelstiltskin. He's out of here. Look, he's like, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm a cranky old man.
Dude. That's amazing.
And first of all, let me explain something. Okay? I'm just letting you know right now. Okay? Assets not getting out of the car the moment I see somebody recording. That person recording is not with my team. That's not a professional camera. They're not doing a walk-up like this. This is an opportunity. You're not going to put a CEO dressed like this. And this video is from probably grandma. I am immediately not letting Asset out of the car, and I am engaging with that person with the camera, and I am neutralizing the threat or moving the threat away. Look at this person. Hi. And these bodyguards, it's like, what are you doing, dude?
Here it comes.
Now, I got to give it that reaction. This reaction isn't bad from freaking Oompa Loompa, but the actual trying to protect your asset is complete dog shit. Here's the full speed.
Connor! Everyone's back! Connor! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Connor!
Lisa wasn't a 22. Lisa wasn't an apple pie from McDonald's.
Here's a pie from Vermont.
Dude. It's like, Connor, what would you rate the pie? Give me an honest opinion, 1 through 10. Was it flaky?
Right.
It's not staged. It's the CEO from Enron. It's not staged. These are horrible bodyguards. Horrible bodyguards. Okay? They're shit.
And that's a great thing about video like this is that once that gets out there, both of those guys, their resume is forever tarnished. Like they're going to go in for the next interview and go, wait, you guys were that was you with the pie, right?
You were the pie bandits.
No, get out of my office. You're not protecting me.
It's like, you guys need protection. Let us help you. I'll protect you. You guys, the CEO of Enron or some shit. If Enron, which has its own problems well beyond getting pie in the face, they should be getting a lot more than pie in the face. Like, if you're going to go after a CEO, I'm just saying that's a pretty good shot. And I don't condone any of that. I'm just saying, you got a lot more problems. If you can't afford security for your CEOs, you are inviting something bad to happen. Those guys encourage people to attack. Like, if I saw those guys as you and I want to harm that CEO, I'm like, well, I don't even have to calculate those guys. Yeah, these guys.
It's not going to be a far stretch to outwit them.
Yeah, you come out, you pull out, you draw on that guy, and they're holding onto your arms, and you're like, please, what are you trying to do? It's like a 2-year-old trying to tackle you. You're like, come on, bro. Please. You're not even going to shoot him. You're just going to be like, come on, dude. I can make this shot in my sleep. That isn't security. Folks, if you want private security, make sure it's qualified private security. Make sure they actually know what they're doing, don't you think? I mean, just maybe make sure they know what they're doing. Okay. Gonna segment brought to you by Spreaker, and we'll be right back with the next segment.
The DUM store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUM10 to save 10%. Visit thedumshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
I don't know if it was Enron. I don't know who it is. Somebody said he was a CEO for something. I could have read it wrong. I don't know what it is. I just made it up. I don't care. It's just, the point is that people stop taking the law into your own hands. Okay? Stop doing stupid stuff. You're just going to get arrested.
Stop throwing pies in the faces of people at Home Depot. It's not cool.
So stupid.
Let it go.
I understand. You guys are mad at these people. I totally get it. Where's this guy from? It wasn't Enron. It was, maybe it's not. This guy says Enron. Are you sure Enron is not? Double check. Is Enron, you want to look, Leroy? Is Enron a company?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still are or not. I mean, they've got to have something, you would think. I mean, did they completely absolve? While you're looking
that's him. His name is Connor. Of course it is. Connor Gatos. He does
look like Gatos. So are his body guys. Maybe they're not his body. Maybe they are his body guys, literally. I don't know. So he's the CEO.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, my information is always correct. I always research.
Thank you, Thomas.
I didn't research that shit at all. I just thought I saw it, and I just said it. So, say I told you I was right. Thomas, thanks for the donation. This next one's going to piss you off. Okay, I have covered, and Leroy has covered the USS Liberty several times. You know, because it's always the Jews, right? It's always the Jews. They're such horrible people, right? I mean, they haven't gone through any persecution. They just ask for it. They're kind of like women who wear short dresses, right? You know, I'm being facetious. I don't mean that women who are wearing short clothes deserve to be raped.
Right.
People, I've almost lost a good friend over this. It was a joke. Sarcasm. Okay? It wasn't about the Jews. Nobody cares if I make fun of Jews, but they care about the short dress comment. Nobody's asking for it, is what I'm trying to say. And Jews certainly aren't. Candace Owens has went off the fucking deep end.
Yeah,
Ben Shapiro.
I haven't watched her in a while.
I won't watch her at all. Well, I do watch her for the show, but I don't watch her to learn anything. Ben Shapiro broke the shit out of her. Now, Brett Cooper, who is also looks like Ben Shapiro in female form, she just resigned. The Daily Wire, bless you, brother. The Daily Wire is in trouble.
Thank you.
Really? Matt Walsh. Yeah, they've got Matt Walsh. And they've got, who's the other guy that I like?
The bald guy?
No.
With the beard?
No.
Andrew Clavin?
Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles.
Oh, yes.
I like Mike Knowles. So Mike Knowles, Matt Walsh, but Brett Cooper's left. You lose Candace. They're in a little bit of trouble. I mean, that's two very, very prolific and big stars that you lost. And it's going to hurt, right? But this, I have covered the USS Liberty. I gave you a timeline. I broke it down for you, step by step, on what happened. This is a fairly tragic situation that took place in WW2, but is being used, like most things, to blame the Jews for everything, is that the Jews attacked America. This was in the Black Sea, and the USS Liberty, during a lack of communication, during a densely difficult to see high fog, without the type of communication that we have today and the ability to recognize foreign and enemy aircraft and vessels, puts us in a situation. Here's Candace Owens. Here's the video. And I have to show it because I'm sick and tired of this shit. Just because Ben Shapiro, you don't like him, doesn't mean you have to go rally against Jews. I am so fucking sick of these profiteers. You guys are grifters. Candace, you were so intelligent, so smart. I'm not saying that if you don't like Jews, that's fine, make the case. But stop doing stuff that you know isn't true. You tried to deny the Holocaust, and I blew you out of the water. Candace, I'll say it, she's never going to hear this. I'll debate Candace anytime she wants on the Holocaust. I will fucking destroy her. You know what? And Stu Peters, bring it. Jake Shields, bring it. Anytime you want to fucking wax intellects about the Holocaust, bring it. Anytime.
Cenk Uygur. I always wanted to debate him. Always.
Well,
have.
I've always wanted to debate Cenk too, but he's actually kind of red pilling. I don't know if you've seen this, but
I know, and it's freaking me out. I don't like it.
It's freaking me out. There's a
I
lot
wish
of
he'd
people
stay
that,
in his lane.
Well, we're going to talk about that next segment. So let's listen to what Candace has to say here. Well, we're not going to give this full time. I want your opinion, of course. Here it is. This is going viral.
All right, you guys, I'll get right into this. A couple of weeks ago, I received a letter that changed my life, certainly changed the course of my life in politics. And I'm going to read you that letter now and let you know that the author of it is sitting across from me. It reads, "My name is Philip Turney. I am 77 years old today. On June 8th, 1967, I was just 20 years old when the gallant crew of the USS Liberty was savagely attacked. Our American flag was proudly flying on our ship in the Mediterranean Sea that day.
But couldn't be seen because it was foggy and unclear.
The designation AGTR-5 was clearly painted on the bow, port, and starboard sides. USS Liberty was written in English on her stern.
This is a Gator. It's a standard military non-combative warship. It's a resupply ship. They are outcoms now, but they were a series of amphibious bay style ships for resupply, very similar to LCC type ships resupply with smaller destroyers, cruisers. They would service subs. They have ones that actually service submarines and do resupply and refuel and food resupply. But they are not a military warship per se. Okay, they have defense mechanisms on their ships. I believe they do have maybe an aft torpedo, and I know they've got. I don't think they have depth charges. I think they did have 50 cals and some other moderate defense systems, but that's just about it.
When we arrived on June 7th, we were overflown.
What is it? Know what it is?
That's a Mirage.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful. F1. Sexy.
Flown by Israeli reconnaissance aircraft. And the same activity was
That's a P-3 Orion right there, that reconnaissance aircraft.
repeated on the morning of June 8th. We were positively identified as American and friendly by the IDF.
That's not true. They were not identified as friendly. That's an absolute lie. Blatant lie. They were not identified as friendly. They had no idea. In fact, they thought what it was a foreign vessel that was going to attack, and they launched skiffs to attack it with, I believe, 50 cals, and started shooting at it and launching projectiles at it.
We had requested a destroyer escort long before we entered the Mediterranean, but we were denied twice. Our captain assured us that we were clearly marked as American, and we therefore had nothing to fear. We were alone, 12.5 miles off the coast of the Sinai Peninsula, always in international waters. The Israeli reconnaissance aircraft were clearly marked with the Star of David. We therefore felt secure, seeing a flying boxcar and other smaller recon propeller aircraft taking good care of us.
If you see reconnaissance aircraft from a foreign country that are flagging your ship, you need to stop all full, reverse screws, 180 degree, and full, and turn in a non-threatening and stop your approach.
Real quick,
go ahead.
I need to add something to that too, because what Candace is saying is not accurate. I'm looking at the declassified but formerly top secret report,
which we could not talk about. Hold on, which Leeroy and I could not talk about until recently, because we told you that we know things that you don't know. Go ahead.
So this report was officially released not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. Looks like this got released for public consumption on June of 2006. So really not that long ago. And one of the things that's that's noted in here within the first two paragraphs is the fact that they were strafed by unidentified aircraft, and the Liberty was not able to establish communications with the opposing units or any other units during the attack.
Yeah,
okay. In the first paragraph.
Susie Love, you may like her, but you're the person that you think you know in Candace Owens is no longer the Candace Owens that we've been watching for years. So this is what I heard. No, this is what I know, because I don't play telephone. We were read in on this because I will tell you, we weren't even read in on this. This is classified TS, and they train this in C schools on communication, miscommunication. If you're doing strike, you learn this. I learned about the USS Liberty in strike. And this has been studied. There was an investigation done by Britain. There was an investigation done by the Jews, and there was an investigation done by the United States of America and maritime shipping and maritime. Come on, maritime JCA whatever law. I don't remember what it's called. But there was a maritime investigation for naval aircraft. God damn it, Navy vessels, logistics, resupply, any of that was done by a civilian organization through maritime law. There are four. I know. Come on. Yes. Thank you. MCA, whatever it is, Material Command, whatever. It's not agency, but it's something else. Administration.
Yeah.
Thank you. God. So what I heard, no, these are investigations. Israel has paid reparations to the families, including that sailor. went well above and beyond, made a public apology. What you're hearing is disinformation and lies. I'm just letting you know. So, is this what I heard? No. This is what I know.
On a beautiful, bright, sunny day by French-made Mirage and Mr. A jets painted black with no markings. We had no clue who was attacking us, but assumed it was an Arab state. During the first pass-by, the jets took out all but one of our transmitting antennas, as well as every watertight door above the waterline. The air attack lasted about 25 minutes, killing and maiming our firefighters and any sailor who moved.
You don't have that type of precision.
Not with a jet.
On that type of, not with a jet, not that type of aircraft, and especially not those jets. If you want to talk about the Mirage was a very acrobatic fighter above ceiling. It was not an attack style aircraft to that magnitude.
The man took one antenna offline, so it wasn't transmitting and wasn't hit. He ran a long wire to it, and the SOS went out to the 6th Fleet. It was even picked up as far away as Vietnam. Rockstar, under attack by an unknown jet aircraft. Help us, help us. Captain Tully, skipper of the USS Saratoga, sent jets to come to our aid. Before the jets hit the horizon, they were recalled by Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Captain Engen of the USS America and Tully relaunched more aircraft to aid us. They were also recalled, this time by Lyndon Baines Johnson himself. He said, quote, "I don't care about a few dead sailors. I will not embarrass my ally, Israel."
It's such a lie. The LBJ said a lot of shit. That's probably the one thing he didn't say. He had no love lost for the Jews. He didn't like blacks. He didn't like Jews. That's not the way LBJ was. He wouldn't have said that. I wasn't there, but I want to see the document. I want to see the actual recording. There isn't one.
Turn to base immediately.
Wait, Loretta Lewis, happy birthday to Loretta. Happy birthday, Loretta. Who else am I missing?
Happy birthday, Loretta.
Who else had a birthday? Loretta, happy birthday. Great to have you. Great to see you. Sue Bolin, happy birthday, Sue.
Oh,
happy birthday.
Birthday too? Happy
Yeah,
birthday, Sue.
all regulars, all birthday people.
Man.
Happy birthday, y'all. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's listen to the rest.
End quote. How did he know who was attacking us if we did not? We were set up by our own government to let a foreign government have their way with us. The IDF even dropped napalm on the bridge of our ship.
Napalm?
How
You
low
mean
they would
napalm?
go, we would soon find out.
You're so educated.
3 motor torpedo
Candace.
boats.
So it's
headed
almost like
our
you're a military expert that you call it napalm.
way, and 1 torpedo hit our starboard side. We saw the Star of David on the boats. They were there to sink us. The
That's the
attack
Cushing.
continued for another hour and a half.
They're showing video to make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
Attacking jet aircraft destroyed all but 3 of our life rafts, which we had put overboard. We were going to place our most seriously wounded in them so that they would have a chance at life. But the IDF would have none of that. They shot 2 of them out of the water and took 1 aboard their boats as a trophy of the kill. They continued shooting and killing my mates. They left and we thought that it was over, but it wasn't. IDF helicopters were sent with troops armed and ready to board our ship and finish us off. Then they just left. I guess the gig was up when the mighty IDF could not sink our defenseless ship. When it was all done, there were over 820.
Susie, Israel is killing too many innocent people. We're not talking about that. If you want to have that conversation, call in. I'm not getting into it with you with chat. You want to talk, there are no innocents. Not in this. This is war, sweetie. So I understand you're upset, but that's why war is hell. And you shouldn't, they should not have attacked Israel. They have been sitting on their hands for 20 years as they have been attacked repeatedly by Hamas, by Hezbollah, by the PIJ, by the Houthis, by the IRGC, by Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. And even though everyone says that ISIS is run by Israel and ISIS has never attacked the Jews because their fight wasn't with the Jews. We can sit here and pretend all we want, and we can sit here and say that Jews are targeting civilians. There has never been, from a ratio proportion, a military might that has had the lowest kill-death ratio for civilian to soldier than the Jews. They are prosecuting a war, and war has casualties. I don't mind if you want to go ahead and support Hamas. I don't mind if you want to go ahead and listen to the propaganda, but you're wrong. So I think you've watched my show before. I appreciate that you have. I appreciate your opinion, but I don't appreciate your opinion in chat. Call into my show, 804-212-2208. You can have your time. You can tell me why this is all true and tell why two Navy sailors who are definitely more informed than you are about our naval vessels and what happened than you are.
21 rocket and cannon holes.
I went ahead and I've taken not one, but two, and I'm not using this to throw it in anybody's face, but I have two warfare pins, and on both of them, part of the qualification to get that was to learn about these incidents.
This
so
surface warfare,
compound
right?
that. No, I'm IW and EXW. Now,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so combine that with the fact that I'm also staring at the damn CIA's report that they declassified in 2006. Trust me when I say I know what happened.
Yeah, so I didn't know you were IW. I knew you were EXW for Expeditionary Warfare, so that's interesting. Explain to people what IW is so they understand.
So information warfare is it takes about a year to get it. It's a qualification that the specific to the Navy, and what it does, it's a designator of sorts that basically says that
oh my
for
God,
all things information, either computer, radio, history, things like studying about ENIAC or Alan Turing's experiments over in England, that once you've passed that exam and you pass an oral board, you get to wear the pin. Basically says you know about information warfare.
I got to take 2 classes in Annapolis, which is naval warfare driven through my strike class in my sea school. So I was able to hear about some pretty amazing battles from Alexander the Great and Darius. I got to study Lee and Grant and some of the battles between them.
That would be cool.
The battles of Damascus from Syria that took place. I got to learn a lot in Naval War College. And once again, I got access to things that a lot of intelligence specialists didn't. I've already stated many times why. It doesn't matter. The point is, you're wrong. And anytime Candace Owens wants to come on to the show and I can embarrass her, she's more than welcome. Because she is reading a letter from the perspective of a guy who absolutely has every right to say what he's saying. His account is just as important since he was there, but to assume that he knows what LBJ said, it's not that I'm saying LBJ didn't say that. I'm saying that he has no idea if LBJ said that, and that is why I'm saying that it's unequivocally false, because he has no fact to back it up. I don't have to disprove him. The burden of proof is on him. And unless he can prove that he had a direct line to LBJ, he has no idea what was said, and I can say it's unequivocally false. That is the way this works. The burden of proof is not on me. The burden of proof is to take the stated facts that have been found in the CIA report, the report from England, the report from the United States, and maritime reports that demonstrate that this was a horrible accident of mistaken identity, and the Jews don't relent until something is dead if it's the enemy. That's the way this works. Let's finish the rest of this.
In the report, just FYI, 10 seconds. In the report, it actually tells you which vessel they confused it with. They thought that it was the Egyptian transport, I'm going to mispronounce this, El Kasur.
That's right.
So it was just a case of mistaken identity. I get it.
Hold on a second. Susie loves now making some this has been interesting, and I usually don't interrupt the show anymore. Susie, it's obviously been a while. I remember I sent you a video, but you never watched it, just one piece of it. How do you know? And you said it's not possible to kill someone with this weapon. And my husband said you can't because he was in the war in Iraq 2 times. So he confirmed what I said? That you can't kill? Because you just said you can't. So is that correct?
I can't make...
No, I can make sense of it. I mean, because that's what you said. And Susie, I have just checked my messenger. Susie, you have not sent me a message in Messenger ever. And I am now checking my email. And I want to get your spelling. Because if you're going to question my credibility, I'm going to address it. Checking email. You have never sent me an email. So you have never sent to me on Messenger? You have never sent it to me on Shopify? And weren't you banned from my show by the moderators for spreading misinformation and creating conflicts with viewers? So I remember that. I don't remember you ever showing me a weapon. Why don't you just tell me what weapon it was and I'll tell you? Because I have never told you that I can recall. Because every weapon that I know is called a weapon because it has a level of lethality to it. I know a toothpick can kill somebody with the proper proportions. So I don't know why I would ever say no weapon could kill somebody. Everything can kill people if it's the intent of the person. So I've spent enough time on you, Susie. I remember you now, and you haven't been missed. So say la vie. I believe in God Jewish. People want to take over the world. I think you hate Jews, and you just don't know how to be an effective anti-Semite. Keep watching Candace. You'll learn. Watch Jake Shields and Stu Peters. They'll teach you. You can go watch. Nick Fuentes isn't doing it as much. Nick Fuentes is actually getting somewhat based.
Can't stand that guy.
I can't stand that fucking guy either. But at least he's. I think he's growing up just a little bit. But Susie, if you want to learn how to be a proper anti-Semite, keep listening to the people you're listening to. Yeah, I don't absolve the Jews of all of their sins because men are inherently sinners. But as you said, Jesus Christ was a Jew. And they are the chosen ones. And if you're a Christian, you're essentially disagreeing with God. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's your business. You can question the Jews. You can question their government. You can question Israel. But you don't want to do that. You want to go ahead and question the Jewish people. And you want to espouse some pretty damaging things without knowing what you're talking about. You don't. Oh, you do, Susie. It's obvious by the way you're talking. That's obvious by the way you're talking. With all due respect. Call into the show. Susie, I don't have fucking time for people like you anymore. I used to do this all the time. I'm not doing this with you. If you don't have the courage to call in and demonstrate why you dislike Jews or why you dislike Israel, then you're not worth my time. You didn't send me a video. You just lied. I just proved you're a liar. You've sent me nothing. And every one of my fans sends me shit all the time. I have never talked to you outside of the show. Except when my moderators told me that they were going to remove you because you were creating conflict and you were saying some pretty horrendous shit on my channel. Go figure. I think you probably don't even know any Jews. That's your problem. I know a lot of Muslims. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate the Pakistani people. I don't hate Indians. I don't hate Hindus. I don't hate Russians. I don't hate Koreans. I hate people who are evil and do harm. You should be a student of my show. You really should. Versus
more people should.
Yeah, you really should. Hey, Matt and Leeroy, what about the submarine up in Chicago? I've been there before and actually looked through that over Lake Michigan. Didn't they razor blade some old sub and put it in the lakes?
I'm not too familiar with the ones that are in Chicago. Now, fortunately, just because of a locality, I was very familiar with the USS Cod, and that was kind of cool. And I'm also familiar with a World War II submarine, and I can't remember the name of it. Dolphin maybe? That you know how they used to put like, hey, this aircraft killed this number of other aircraft, right? Mm-hmm. There was a submarine during World War II that claimed and was held responsible for sinking a train. Look that one up. Now I gotta look it up. Crap, that'll bother me if I don't. Sunk a train, and they actually had the silhouette of a train on the hull.
The Dolphin was a sub. I know that for an absolute fact. USS.
Here it is.
Dolphin
submarine sinks a train. The Barb. USS Barb. My bad.
The MOSU in Chicago. The MOSU in Chicago. Yeah, I remember something about that. And I know, and I remember that from boot camp days.
Yeah.
Eugene, we got
Lucky.
We got too much to do, so I got to move on. Susie, it's not like the number to the show isn't literally plastered on the infographic. And if you watched my show, you would know the phone number. Oh, Susie, people have given you the number 17 times. Give me a break. Susie, we're busy. I'm sorry. I don't have time for this anymore. We're going to finish the rest of this video.
And over 5,000 armor-piercing bullets riddling the ship. Napalm was burning us up, and a 40 by 40-foot torpedo hole was in her side, causing the ship to list badly to our starboard side. We then waited 17 hours for help. I guess they hoped that we would sink that night. Help was only 40 minutes away from us, but they left us out alone to die. When the USS America and the USS Davis arrived to help us, they took our wounded to care for them. Their wounds were so horrific, words cannot explain. Admiral Kidd boarded our ship a few days later, and the cover-up immediately began. We were ordered to never speak of
a cover-up that everybody's talking about, and everybody did talk about, and it was on the national news, and it was on international news. What do you mean a cover-up?
Attack to anyone, not even with one another. Penalties would be fines, imprisonment, or worse, and we all knew that worse meant death. We have been treated like garbage for the last 57 years. Congress has been bought and paid for, with the exception, over the years, of a few brave lawmakers. Their names are Representatives Pete McCloskey, Paul Findley, and Jim Traficant. As the courageous Rep. Thomas Massey has noted, all Republican members of Congress except for him have APAC handlers. We can assume this is also true of nearly all Democrats. We are the most decorated ship in naval history for a single engagement. I believe God saved us that day to allow us to communicate the truth of this attack to leaders like you. We give all power to Jesus Christ. We are just his servants that horrible day and now. The USS Liberty survivors are the biggest whistleblowers this country has ever seen. We have been smeared as anti-Semitic, Jew haters, and Nazis. Our only sin is that we survived. We didn't kill anyone. Israel did all the murdering that day, and the U.S. government did all the covering up. I'm asking you to help us save America by telling others the facts about the slaughter of my mates. We are begging you to support us.
It's amazing when you use words like us and we. Listen to me.
Right.
Everybody who's been in the military has suffered in one way or another, or been exposed to, or been touched by friendly fuck. It happens. Also known as friendly frag. Also known as friendly fire. Inadvertent collateral damage. And there's a million names for it. It happens. It sucks. But to sit here and make this as some sort of nefarious deal that was covered up is a blatant and 100% lie. The investigations took place.
Yep.
It was found to be a mistaken identity. Israel stopped attacking because they identified the ship. They corroborated the stories and the request from the USS Liberty for assistance and help and notified the United States. But every time they tried to bring assistance boats out, they were fired upon. And they should have been. But they did try to bring assistance on, and multiple boats were sunk by the USS Liberty. To say the USS Liberty did not fight back is a lie. His statement in his letter is a lie. Because they did try to go ahead and scramble support to assist and stop attacking. There's no way that the USS Liberty would have known. And the boats that they went ahead and scuttled, and the people who died from Israel's side, nobody said that the United States attacked the Jews. They understood what happened. It was a mistaken identity. It happens. Yep. I can give you hundreds of examples from artillery laying out our own people, from F-4 Phantoms laying napalm up our ass, from cannoneers in the American Revolution and in the Civil War who fired upon their own battalions and squads. This is not something that's rare. It happens all the time. It happens in training. I can give you personal stories in training where people have taken friendly fire, friendly fuck, friendly frag. Leroy, let's put it to bed because we got a couple of other things we got to cover tonight.
Yeah. On page 4 of the now declassified CIA report, paragraph number 7, it says, thus it was not until 4:12 p.m., 9:12 Zulu, that the Israelis became convinced that the Liberty was, in fact, American. So 44 minutes after the attack started was when they finally figured out this is not an Egyptian, whatever the hell ship they kind of thought it was.
Which looks a
And
lot like it. Give me the
and it
name of the
did.
ship so I can show them.
It was the
It's
El
the-
Qasur.
El Qasur. Yep, I know how to spell it. I know how to spell
QUSIR.
I know. I know how to spell. I just forgot the name.
And so
I'm gonna put up both ships.
Once they were able to identify it, once they had positive identification, 44 minutes later, the attack stopped. Shocker. So, I understand the need for a lot of Americans to go to the extreme of thinking that everything is, some sort of conspiracy. Let me tell you, folks, it's not like that. The U.S. government is not that organized, and nor are they very good at keeping secrets. So if anything like this were really to happen, you would know about it, because there's not a damn one of them in the government that can keep a secret.
You take a look. It very much looks like a resupply vessel. It very much looks like a sub resupply. These are standard. We've been underway plenty of times and had to resupply, and that's exactly what they look like. And from above, you can see it's got the front hull has a lower depth.
One funnel.
Yeah,
right?
one funnel on the back, and then you take a look at the elongated. You look at the antennas. You also look at the cranes that are on board. It even has the same crane mast. If you look, which is right up at the top. They look very to an untrained to pilots
similar.
looking from untrained pilots. We don't know what the water line was like. We don't know if they were full supply. We don't know if it was riding high. Obviously, the Qasar is riding a little bit higher than that. It has a smaller ballast, but we don't know. The point is that when you're in a Mirage and you're an untrained pilot and it's foggy as shit and you can't see identifying marks, you identify it incorrectly. And it wasn't 17 hours. They lied. They said they napalmed the decks. You don't napalm ships.
No, it's a torpedo. It was a torpedo. There were
wasn't napalm.
There were 6 passes by the Mirage, which were firing randomly with no in any sort of precision, right? That's why there's thousands of bullet indentations all over the place. They're not precision, right? Because they're moving at 400 miles an hour while trying to train a weapon on a stationary. It's not easy, right? But the one thing that did it, they said that it was a torpedo at the waterline.
That's right.
A hole estimated to be 39 feet wide at the bottom and 24. Yeah. So they hit this thing with a torpedo, and that's why she sank.
And it was on the side. It was on the starboard. No, it was on the port side, and it was midships. Of course, she didn't sink. She didn't hit the ballast.
Flooded. Yeah.
She flooded. They closed the compartments off, and then they did not drop napalm on the deck. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I can't stand civilians sometimes. You guys really piss me off. And Susie Love, lose my show. People are recalling you and saying, God, what a toxic fucking person she was. Leave my show. You're not welcome here. I don't want you watching my show. Your toxicity we don't have that here anymore. The show focuses on the facts. We have great relationships. Shit, I got to take the call because I always do. Fuck. You got to turn down your thing. All right, who is it? What do you want to talk about? I'm listening.
I can't hear anything.
I know. They're not talking. Don't unfriend me, show. You're on live. Okay, good. Now I can hang up. All right. Don't call back. You know what? I'll never turn down a debate. You're not. I made a decision. I know who you are. I remember you. I made a decision to have you no longer be a part of our site. And you are one of the very few. We don't want you here. We don't want your toxicity. We don't want your lies. We don't want your conspiracy theories. And now I really don't fucking like you because you're an anti-Semite. So lose my page. Okay? You make the people around you worse. Sorry. Your life, I have no desire to be a part of it. So sorry. You've already lied on this show, so just leave. Seriously. And you want to set up a time to debate me? Oh, we'll do that. I'll do that anytime, but you're not going to hijack my show. People don't get to do that anymore. Let's do a quick transition. I got a couple of things you got to see. There's a lot. So are you okay?
I'm down. Yeah.
Okay. Good talk on the
Liberty,
the USS Liberty. I just can't stand. I can't stand stuff. You and people are like, well, what? I can't have an opinion. Sure, as long as it's based
just have
on
an
fact.
educated one.
Yeah,
right.
As long as it's on fact, we don't have to agree. You could say Israel meant to do it. Okay, tell me why. Because they're Jews. Okay, you lose the conversation. You're done.
Yeah,
they're Jews. It's what Jews do. No, it's not what Jews do. Dude. This is interesting. I have got to say that I'm going to show you this, and I think that this is going to create a good conversation for us. So first, listen to this.
Join wimkin.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at wimkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
I'm not going to be able to play the whole video because it's got copyrighted audio in it. First of all, it's great to see so many people on here. We've got, looks like 61 on Facebook, and we have a whole shit ton on Wimkin, 101 on Twitter.
Nice.
Good to see so many people on. Here's the video, folks. I'm not going to mention it again, but we're hurting. We are almost $90 some odd dollars away from our goal. This will be the first time in 9 months we have not hit our goal, and I think we're almost at 60 days now of hitting our nightly goal. So if we're out there and we want to give, now's the time. Here it is.
God, look at the bags under his eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump, the Time Man of the Year. And I just have to point out, and I want to make sure that people understand what I'm trying to say here, is for the first time since, I don't know, 1940, Hitler is the Man of the Year. Hitler. Because isn't that what we said?
That's what they said.
Isn't this Hitler?
That was literally Hitler.
This is Hitler. Why? How did Hitler win? I mean, I'm confused. First, we nominate Hitler to president. Then Hitler wins Man of the Year. Then this. Hitler got to do this.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I didn't know Hitler could do these things. Oh, look at Hitler celebrate. Look at all the fans of Hitler.
Go.
Wow. Go Hitler. You know, I've never been a real big fan of Hitler. I've kind of been I've shied away from. I know Susie is. Susie Love obviously is a big Hitler fan. I've kind of shied away from, with my German heritage and tried to hide it. And then of course the old Jewish blood would just makes me an evil person because I'm a Jew. I mean, that's what they say. If you have any Jewish blood, you're a Jew.
That's what I am.
I like Hitler. I'm a big Hitler fan. I think Hitler's great, man. I'm excited.
I don't think you mean it quite that way, but sure.
No, I do mean it. I think Hitler is an amazing human being. I voted for Hitler. I voted for Hitler twice. You didn't vote for Hitler?
I absolutely voted for Trump.
I voted for Hitler. Look at that. I just have a sudden urge every time I see him. I kind of want to do this.
Everybody loves me. And I got to open the stock market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stock market's going to Deutschmarks, which is really exciting. I mean, who doesn't love Hitler? I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's a Jew, and he just gave him $1 million. Zuckerberg gave a Jew $1 million for his inauguration. Jeff Bezos is going to meet Hitler. You know what's interesting? 57% of voters have a positive outlook on the future for the first time in 4 years because of Hitler.
I literally I literally hear Trump in the back in the 57%. Yeah, there were very fine people on both sides.
On both sides. Listen, listen, I think we had it wrong about Hitler.
Yeah.
Because he certainly seems to be doing pretty well. Pete Hegseth looks like he's almost home. It looks like Tulsi Gabbard's looking pretty good. RFK is going to get a little challenges, but I'm pretty excited. Caller, where are you from? Do you like Hitler?
You know, I love the fact that you brought me up tonight. You know, it's a beautiful show. You probably got me elected. I really love this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We just wanted to say, hail Trump. You know, we appreciate you. You are huge.
Huge endorsement.
Huge.
It's huge.
No, it's Mike. It's Mike. I wanted to hear Leroy do the Trump thing right there, and that's why I had to call in, guys. I'm missing your Trump, Leroy. Where's it at?
You should have kept it up. You should have kept it up, Mike, instead of breaking
you were
character.
doing really good.
So
this isn't Mike. You know, I was just trying to do a Michael impression.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So listen. When is the Fourth Reich going to rear its head? We're really excited to get to the. We've seen the third.
You know, I look. That's. I know a lot of people who know the answer to this, but I frankly, Barron's probably going to be the best man to call there. I tell him a lot about my podcast. He tells me a lot about the podcast he listens to. We really don't know the dates, but if you have a question, probably tweet him or X him.
I was just thinking, I really appreciate how white Barron is. It makes me feel really good. So we're really excited for you, Mr. Trump. And, you know, I just can't. Listen, is there a chance that Melania is going to change her name to Eva? Is Eva Braun?
Eva Longoria?
Eva Braun. Is that possible? Can she change it?
Melania,
can she legally?
Let me check. Oh, Melania, my wife. Okay. We'll have to ask her. Call Junior. Tell Junior to set it up with your secretary. We'll set up an interview. We'll get it going. Okay. But before we do all that, everybody, donate more. Okay. We can't let the 9 weeks, 9 months. Not the weeks. We can't let the streak end. We got to build a Trump Tower out of this podcast, people. Yeah. Come on. Put the money in. If it's $2.25, it's $2.25.
Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump.
Yeah. Go ahead,
it would be very, very kind of you, given that you are a billionaire, if you could float us a couple of
Yeah, don't be so Jewish.
Don't be a Jew.
Well, look here, Leroy. Look,
don't be a Jew.
Your impersonation, you know, it's been about 25%. 25% of all the profits that are coming in. You know, you up it just a little bit more. We'll probably come back down, and we might think about writing you a check, giving you a room in the Trump Tower. We might.
That's good.
We might. I don't know.
Maybe you just give us some of that tariff money. Mr. Trump, thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for what you're doing about making America great again. And congratulations on Person of the Year. And congratulations. It's been way too long. I've read Mein Kampf. I'm hoping you're going to sign it for me. And we just wanted to say thank you.
How's your painting coming along? Are you getting any better?
Is it good? Is your painting good?
I can tell you one thing. It's going to be a whole lot better than that son of a bitch over there in England. Oh, my God. Did you see that thing? Looked like a man who was bleeding out of his body and bored. Oh, good Lord. You could actually probably write a whole stand-up comedy show about him, Leroy. What do you think?
I think I probably could. Thank you, sir. That was very kind of you. Let me ask you, does your arm, does it ever get numb because of the band? Do you ever have to,
Yeah, because especially when you're reaching.
You're talking about the YMCA?
No, not the YMCA, sir. We're talking about your the band, the red band with the white circle and the black Hindu reverse symbol that you wear on your arm. Does that ever get in the way with shaking so many people's hands or anything?
Hey, I can't keep this one up.
Dude, it was actually good. You better fucking figure it out because
I was going to ask you if you put that on your dick arm.
Like the reverse of that sign actually meant peace at one point.
It did.
Everyone in America had one. They had them in the flower shops, the Brewsters. I don't know what they called Brewsters before they became Brewsters, but they had one there. And the swastika. Yeah, whatever. I don't wear bands. You know what I wear? I wear Trump's flags as a cape, but I wear the 2021, not the 2024.
Like that.
Because it's so much better. So
the last thing, Mr. Trump, I just wanted a question to ask you, sir, and then I will absolutely leave you alone. Two things. One is how do you walk with the size of testicles that you possess, and made of brass,
Fair.
actually made of gold, let's be
Right,
honest, made of gold.
yeah.
And the second thing
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to ask is, did you hear that McDonald's is hiring a new fry cook? And did you resign your position at McDonald's? Do you think Kamala might actually apply for your job? That's the last part.
Well, let's probably handle the second question there first. The McDonald's thing is a little bit funny. You know, I go out there, I make a big publicity, show of it, but I was actually working. I enjoyed it. I like giving people the burnt fries, a lot of salt, good stuff. Good stuff.
Did you lick your
even made
fingers
RFK
afterwards?
take one.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Well, I'm
Thank
going
you,
to tell
Jennifer.
anybody about that. Thank you, Jennifer. You're a beautiful woman. Such a beautiful woman. Thank you. The McDonald's thing's a little bit strange. Here's what I'll say about that, okay? They probably need somebody new there, but did you see the Burger King tweet? Did you see this?
I saw the Burger King tweet. It was fantastic.
Now, what do you think I'd say about that?
I don't know. You're the president. You tell me. I mean, I would never speak for Hitler.
Well, let me tell you this. The McDonald's thing was such a big publicity rise in my popularity that, the left had to come at me. So what did they do? They hit me with the king, and I'm the king officially.
Wanda.
But they tried to come back and make a little negative publicity for the McDonald's and make me look bad. That's my opinion on it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I have my theories.
So listen, Mr. Trump, I've got to ask you. Thank you, everybody. Deborah, everybody who's donating. Thank you. We love you. Thank you. I have to ask a really controversial question. Yes, we hit it, sir. Yes, we hit it. No thanks to you. Mr. Trump, I have one last question. And please, it's very important that you don't take offense to this, but it's just a question because we need to make America great again. When you were at McDonald's and you looked at the fryers, did it give you any thoughts about the Jewish population in the United States?
Well,
Ouch.
they don't like the beef. They like the fish, though. The fish fillet.
Is that kosher? Is that kosher fish, sir?
I prayed over it. I believe that counts. We're all Jewish. Adam and Eve. Okay.
God, dude,
Turn
you're going
the
to hell.
ovens off.
You're going to hell.
You
getting
need
at
to
it.
go to confession.
Mr. Trump, thank you
I'm
for
sorry.
visiting.
I'm not Catholic, but I actually do need to sit and pray on that one.
You know what?
I love it. I love
Humor
it.
is a beautiful thing, and to our Jewish listeners, I guarantee they didn't take offense. This is the segue. Mike, we're going to let you go, and I'm going to say, why are we talking like this? I love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, it was such a good guy. Folks, there's a couple things. World War II. Hi. What's wrong? You look beautiful. Are you going to sleep right now?
No, I'm just.
Make a quick hug. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello. Bye-bye. You look beautiful, sweetie. Okay. I'm going to make my statement, then I want you to make yours. The language you heard aligns with the name that you called. The jokes that you heard align with the name that you and the moniker you applied to Donald Trump. If you found the humor in that shocking, that's the way we felt for 4 years when you called us Nazis. And if you can't laugh at it, we're destined to just be depraved and solemn about it, because I can't believe fellow citizens of mine called us Nazis and insulted us. It's not acceptable. In World War II, FDR, although being president for 4 times, he brought a nation together and explained what would happen after the war and how America would rise and America would be a leader in the world. Winston Churchill did the same with England and inspired the United States to assist and help and gave America a huge responsibility in providing production to assist the English to fight the Germans as they were getting outsupplied from a financial standpoint and a creation standpoint. There was a hope that took place. And there was a hope that we would be able to see ourselves out of this war. Well, I will tell you right now that Donald Trump is going to bring the United States together. You can say whatever you want. You can say you hate him. You are a minority because people actually are believing again that change is coming and it's going to be the best. It's going to be for the best. I don't care what you think about Donald Trump, but he is bringing change to this government. It's desperately needed. I believe that he's going to do that. I believe he is not going to go ahead and weaponize the DOJ. I believe he is putting his people in so no one else can weaponize the DOJ. He is going to stop going after us. He's going to start protecting our borders. He is going to do whatever we can to give us the best leverage to be following the American dream again instead of this fucking nightmare that we're in. If that bothered you, and I guarantee my listeners didn't because they understand my loyalty and where it lies, and I have fervently defended Jews as much as I have defended the LGBTQ community, blacks, whites, Christians, Gentiles, I don't give a shit. People have a right to be who they want to be, and it's not our business to impact that. And if you don't disagree with people, you don't get to shoot them. You don't get to throw pies in their face. You don't get to punch them, and you don't get to bring them down to the lowest common denominator because you have a problem with communicating effectively. Hitler rang the bell. Hitler is going to go ahead and get into office. And maybe next time, if you want us to treat Joe fucking Biden with respect, you start treating Trump with respect. That's President Trump. You want to get back to civility, you people are the ones that forgot about it and lost it. Go ahead, Leroy.
I'm going to add on to that. And here's how we're going to play this out. We just watched 2 hours worth of people who were overreacting. They were violent. They were inarticulate. They called names. And when you call names to your accuser, right? When you espouse name, just throw this vitriol, this hate out there. Do you think that solves anything, or does it just continue that momentum on? If I call Matt a name, is he going to call me a name? And then it just, never ends? Like the Middle East? Is that how we get to that point? Like the Hatfield and McCoys?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. So what we have to do, if you really want to be better, America, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. America, this is for everyone listening, left and right. If we want to take things to a different place, if we really do want to get better, right, we will refrain from calling others names. We won't do it. Instead, let's talk about policy. Let's talk about the results of policy, why we voted certain people in, what the changes are that we want, right? And if we do that, I guarantee that will be more of an ear opener to whoever might be listening than calling them names.
Correct.
That conversation that needs to happen. If you are that passionate about politics, if you are that passionate about making effective change, if you really do care about the direction of this country, then at minimum, those are the conversations that need to happen, not that man's a Nazi. That doesn't solve anything. You are insulting everyone's intelligence, including your own, by going there. If you're trying to make effective arguments, the first thing you got to stop doing is name calling. And if we can get to a point where we start talking about, oh, well, the tax brackets in this case went down, that kind of thing, we'll be in a much different place.
You just reap what you sow. And you guys for 4 years have went after this man, tried to arrest this man. You've tried to discredit this man. You went after his family. You went after his wife. You raided his home. You tried to steal his businesses. You tried to put him in jail, and you tried to fucking kill him. Enough. We're going forward whether you want to or not, And the change that you're looking for is going to take place whether you like it or not. You know what's coming because you've seen it before. But this time he has a mandate. And he's got the Republicans. He is whipping Republicans into shape. They are standing behind him. And the ones that don't will be primaried out.
Yep.
It's time to get going. It's time to take it seriously. I don't have time for people. I don't have time for people who say, trust the plan. I don't have time for people that say, keep your enemies close. I don't have time for people that say, MAGA is fascism and you're Nazis. You people are a waste of my fucking time. I have a job to do. And that's the job to see things that are not true and bring you the truth to the best of my ability based upon facts. And if we get it wrong, we'll own it. We'll let you know when we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last video and then comments for the rest of the night. Leroy, I love the new format. I love the way we're working. Quick segue and we'll be right there.
The DUM store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUM10 to save 10%. Visit thedumshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
If you recognize the guy's voice, he actually has done commercials for a lot of politicians, Ted Cruz, Ford, and movies. And he is going to be doing our voiceovers for our show when we have adverts. And I think it's awesome. If you're interested in using his voice, just let me know, and I will send you some information on this gentleman. I'm not going to out him here, but if you're interested, let me know. This is Eric Adams, New York City, a complete 180. And it is... it's interesting when you flood migrants into a city and you're told to toe the line. And when that line literally starts choking you and nobody shows up, it's amazing how loyalty is, because John Fetterman's there too. There's a lot of Democrats, like I told you, that are flipping. Just take a look at his cabinet. Look at Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Look at Elon Musk. Look at RFK. Look at Eric Adams. Look at Zuckerberg. Look at Jeff Bezos.
What does that tell you about all of those people?
That they're all fucking, that they don't stand by their morals and convictions. They didn't believe anything they were said. They were told to do that.
Grifters.
Susie says, I love you guys, and I'm sorry if I offended you guys with what I said. Susie, you don't have to apologize to me. You have to apologize to the people who you did that to in this chat. These are good people. These are my family. These are people who I would walk shoulder to shoulder with in just about any situation. You're just not aware this last year of what we've gone through since you've been gone. So this is the best thing I'll tell you. Adapt or die. Figure out the things that you did wrong to hurt people. Figure out how to forgive the things that people did to you, and move the fuck on and be a contributor. Don't be a distraction. That's it. Apology not accepted. Because until I see a change, I don't care. Until the people here give you the stamp, you don't get into the dummies until you prove yourself. That's it. This isn't high school. This isn't estranged family. They owe you nothing. You want to be a part of it, treat them with respect, and don't spread falsehoods on my channel. That's it. And make sure you know what you're talking about. Come with your guns loaded. If you think I'm being too hard, I don't care. I don't care. Not anymore. Here we go.
We have 500,000 children who had sponsors in.
Donna, go watch the drone coverage in the beginning of the show and watch last Tuesday night's show. Leroy and I cover the drone. There is no drone mystery. There is no drone mystery.
None.
We solve it for you. We tell you what it is. We tell you what's going on. This is a lot of civilian, a lot of military, and a lot of people who are wrong. But let's listen to this.
This country that we can't find. We can't find them. We don't know if they're doing child labor. We don't know if they're doing sex crimes. We don't know if they're being exploited. 500,000 children. There's a level of hypocrisy that everyone that states they want to protect everyone but innocent individuals who are victims of crimes and children. I want to support and protect children and innocent people that are victims of crime. And those who don't.
Susie, your feelings don't matter. They don't matter.
Understand that it's not up to me to try to convince them. I know what my job is, my goal is, and I was clear of that while running and when I became mayor. Safety means everything to me. 500,000 children, we don't know where they are right now in this country.
All right. Leeroy, want to get your thoughts? You know what, Susie? Banner. See it, Susie. I made a decision. I stick by it. I'm not going to back it. You don't deserve to be here. Banner. Go ahead, Leeroy.
Eric Adams. So when I'm listening to that and he's talking about safety above everything else, I understand that that's your job, sir. However, the entire, I mean, New York has gone through how many different iterations of release? Was it search and release, that type of thing?
Stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. The entire war against people's personal rights so that they can't defend themselves. It's your war against the Second Amendment. It's your war against people's privacy. I understand that you have a job that is to protect the general public, but it's your policies that determine that. And when you start infringing upon people's rights, that's the problem. And that's why people want to leave New York, because of these overreaching government policies. Now, if your intentions are true, if your intentions are pure, and you really do want to save kids and you want to keep kids out of the sex slave trade, out of prostitution, then maybe don't make it a sanctuary city. Maybe start to look to enforce the laws that are already on the books to keep that kind of thing from happening. Keep the illegal immigration to a minimum, get the drug trade down. That's how you do it. You don't start, invading everyone else's rights just because you think you have that mandate. That's not how it works.
No. And it's amazing how much they accuse Donald Trump of doing those things, but they won't admit that they do it. And whether it was Cuomo or you or God, who was the other guy? It was Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio. You guys have been stepping on people's rights forever. You're the one who made this happen. Eric Adams has, I will give him credit. He has been pushing out against the illegal immigrants, but you're the one who fought the Republicans on Sanctuary City. You're the one that towed the line when you thought it was okay. You guys all ran for the hills when the politics of America changed. That doesn't make you magnanimous. That doesn't even make you strong forward thinkers. It makes you followers. And you guys claim to be our leaders. You're not our fucking leaders. You are our representatives. And it's time that you guys learn that. And you will learn it in the primaries. You will learn it when the DOJ comes after you if you broke laws. And honestly, I think they weaponized the things against you. But you know what? You guys did that to Trump. And I'm not going to sit here and cry foul when you guys have a microscope up your ass. You deserve it.
Right.
This guy is the most investigated man in U.S. history and world history. Donna, that is a big question. Do I still think they might be trying to off Trump? Donald Trump is never going to be safe.
God, I hope not.
He's never going to be safe. So the only thing you can do is prevent as many unsafe situations that you can to ensure that he's protected. And I believe at the end of 4 years that Donald Trump is going to be, I'm just going to tell you, I was trying to say it tonight, is I feel something coming. And I think America is that this guy very well could be one of the most popular presidents in the United States history if this 4 years goes the way I think it's going to go. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I do know I saw what he did in 16 and 20. And I saw what he did without a SCOTUS, without the gubernatorial, without the House, without the Senate, without world support. Did you see the way that those 46 leaders kissed his ass overseas? People are scared. They hold on. Europe, the Jews, they're not scared of Muslims. Jews are not scared of America. Jews are scared of losing their religion and identity and being castigated out from something that they have because they have had it done to them so many times. Europeans aren't scared of energy. They're not scared of not having, are too closely populated to have thriving militaries and thriving economies because their areas in their country is too small. They're not afraid of not being able to expand. They're afraid of world conflict like they saw in WW1 and WW2. They remember it religiously. Muslims are afraid of poverty and not being able to provide for their family and having to kill tribe versus tribe versus tribe and having strong, powerful people take what is theirs because people have tried for 3,000 years. The Chinese are afraid of poverty and not being able to eat and not be able to feed because they understand what Maoism did. And even though they have socialist progressive ideas, they are terrified of being poor. Every country has fears. And every single one of those fears, Taiwan is afraid to become like Hong Kong and lose its freedom. So when you look at all of these countries and you try to understand, they're all terrified right now because all of those things have an opportunity to come to fruition in Joe Biden's administration and the state of the world. Donald Trump can absolutely, possibly bring world peace by addressing these issues. If he can do that, I don't think you understand the influence. John F. Kennedy had that influence. Ronald Reagan had that influence. And Donald Trump, the way I saw those leaders look at him, only a couple gave him the shitty stink eye. That he has the ability to expand the Abraham Accords, bring Israel and Saudi Arabia to the table, marginalize the terrorist countries, destroy their caliphates, destroy them at the core in their command and control, get Russia and Ukraine to have some sort of peace deal, help Taiwan and China find a way to go ahead and mutually work together.
Yeah.
Empower Japan and embolden Japan. There's a lot of things that he can do to impact world peace. And I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to predict it and listen to me. That man should have 3 Nobel Peace Prizes around his belt right now. I promise you, if any of those things that I said, this guy's going to come out with 3 or 4 Nobel Peace Prizes himself. Because I think they know what the world tried to do to him, and he is still here. Churchill, they tried to destroy Churchill. They tried to destroy Kennedy and were successful. They tried to destroy Lincoln. They tried, and they did. They were successful. They tried to destroy him, and he's still standing. And there is nobody who predicted he would be. Think about it. That was my last word. I'm sorry it was so long. Leroy, take us home.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was thinking about that. Literally, I was just telling Matt right before we went on air that I sat in on a briefing today, and it had to do with what's happening over in Asia. And I think that enough of us have seen the headlines that give some sort of prediction for what could happen within the next 2 to 3 years, right? And I thought about it during the meeting, and I thought to myself, there is a very high likelihood that because Donald Trump won the presidency, that whole thing will probably be delayed indefinitely. And if not delayed until what we assumed was the correct timeline, at least for another 5 years after. In all likelihood, Donald Trump's presidency, if it does delay that, has saved millions of lives from war.
Yes. Millions.
And I mean that. That's not
Me too.
That is a completely legitimate, thought out consequence in a good way to a Donald Trump presidency, is that if he just delayed a war between China and Taiwan, then every one of you who leans left, who voted against Trump, who called him Hitler, every one of you who wants to support China or Taiwan, right, should be apologizing to the man. You should leave your comments here and just say, I was wrong about Donald Trump.
Yep.
So that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
people asked, why did Assad fall so quickly? That is a completely different conversation. That is something we're going to have to go through with command and control. We're going to have to talk about years and years of civil war. We're going to have to about constant proxy from the United States to Russia to England, pulling and pushing, and there's a lot there. We're going to have to talk about, pushing out terrorist groups from Mogadishu and Egypt and Jordan, and moving from Libya and Ethiopia and terrorist groups moving into Syria in a battle zone. There's a lot to talk about. We will talk about that, but not tonight because I got to go. Yeah. I want to thank everybody for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. We really appreciate you guys being on. This is a huge number. We have 182 on right now are the numbers we're seeing. 106 on Twitter. 61 on Facebook still. Is that what it says? Yeah, 61.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, it's a great night. And we've got 14 on YouTube because YouTube sucks and they hate us. And then we've got a bunch on Wimkin. So we want you guys to go back and watch the show. We were told this week, I've heard this more than ever, that these are the best shows we've been doing this week. A lot of it's the communication. It's a lot of spreading the hosts out, having Leeroy out and out. It's not as complicated. It's simple. We focus on the more military and geopolitical stuff, and we can talk our Navy talk. And then when the girls come on, it's a little bit more relaxed and fun. Yeah. When Mike gets on here, we'll explore the LGBTQ community quite a bit. So he'll add that value.
What's that say about Mike?
That's my point. Mike's a great guy. I think this kid's going to offer a lot of value. He's also funny as shit. And the fact that he can call in and do Trump skits. I've thought about, because I do a lot of impersonations. He doesn't even know that. We'll have to go ahead and swap. He goes, laugh my ass. All right. Anyway, 62 on Rumble. So we have 300 plus on, which is amazing. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your donations. Thanks for helping us. Go to thedumshow.com. Go pick up something nice for yourself. Leeroy, love you, buddy. And we'll see you guys later.
Love you guys. Peace out, homies.
See you tomorrow for Friday night, Red Friday. Me and Olivia, and is that it? That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, me and Olivia. And then Mike, hopefully will start coming by or something. We'll figure it out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
All right. Good night.
Thanks, buddy.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt.
Mike says my impersonations suck. Mike, you have no fucking idea. You're a one-trick pony. I will spank you.
Hate leads to suffering. Suffering leads to anger. Anger leads to the dark side. Yes, it does.
I will fuck you up.
Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.